Yes, folks, I'm gonna review every short starring this little crazy black duck. I always loved Daffy. He has to be not only my favorite Looney Tunes character, but my favorite character of all time. And now I'm gonna get to know a little bit more about this gooster by reviewing, and yes, I'm dead serious, reviewing every single short. Well, okay, not really. I'm not including anything beyond Golden Age. The reason being that 2012's Daffy Duck Rhapsody would be #1, but that is the latest short, so I feel like that would be a bit unfair. You sit through this 5-hour-long video only for the last short to be #1? That's kinda cheap. But anyways, yes, starring or co-starring Daffy. Cameos and extremely minor roles not included. I might laugh, I might cry, or I might just be bored all the way through. I highly doubt that, so I might as well jump into this one, because this is gonna be a long video, starting with the one that started it all. So, without further ado, let's get into it for real this time. Dang, you can tell this is an extremely old Looney Tunes short, because it doesn't even use the merry-go-round broke down. Now this is a downright classic short, not only for the first appearance of Daffy, but also stuff like how this would be the first time Mel Blanc would voice Porky, because before then he was voiced by a guy with an actual stutter. And also the short is just so damn funny. Simple jokes like how all these hunters go after this one duck and miss, Daffy eating an eel and getting electrocuted the crap out of, and also, oh yeah, Daffy himself. Despite the fact he plays a very small role, being the one duck heckling Porky the most, you also know him bouncing out of the water and going Actually, fun fact with the ending, Clampa had leftover Daffy animation, didn't know what to do with it, so Avery just told him to put in the "That's All Folks" credits. Useless fact! Also, I think Clampett and mainly Avery nailed out of the ballpark with this one. There's one joke I didn't really like, and that was the drunk fish. Yeah, so what did you expect, the normal tunes? I think the joke goes on for way too long, but other than that, it's great and a really funny short. This one I think is just a wildly better version of Porky's Duck Hunt. I can't believe it only took them one other short for them to finally establish Daffy's character. What, it took Bugs like 4 until they got the basic idea? But anyways, the jokes performed by both Daffy and Egghead are really entertaining. But really, Daffy is the standout star here. He even gets his own song number, which is nice. Probably because this is actually a Merry Melodies short, not a Looney Tunes. Which I always sort of forgot Daffy actually has a few Merry Melodies under his belt. But hey, you learn something new every day. The standout joke here, I think, is the one where Daffy tries to get Egghead to shoot an apple on his head, but he keeps missing him. Like he fucking shoots a barn in the distance, and even when he's right in front of the barrel, Egghead still can't shoot him. So Daffy just straight up calls him blind. I don't know, I think it's funny. The ending as well, where the mental employees are also loons, is some foreshadowing to a gimmick I never really like, where they would have other ducks be just as loony as Daffy, and even downright looking the same, and I never liked that joke. Daffy said him himself, there's no other duck like him, because he is so Daffy. Hey, but hey, Egghead going Daffy was enjoyable. Also, he just commits murder, so yeah, going above Duck Hunt. Oh hey, the merry-go-round broke down is here! But anywho, goddamn! So this one is a war-themed short, and oh, I don't like that! Daffy? It's kind of weird saying Daffy off his iconic blue thing on his neck, but overall this short's really dumb, but dumb fun. So there's a fight among the chickens and ducks, and it turns into an actual full-blown war. They push to 11 here, with tanks and duck ships, and even a fucking duck plane shooting eggs. Oh, I think the ending's a bit lackluster, with Porky winning by shooting corn. Like, he just puts it through a thing that straightens clothes, and he wins by a landslide. So that's what the Allies should have done first! But hey, at least Daffy does get the last laugh here, so yeah. Overall, this short's really good. You could tell they were going wild with this one. However, I think I'll still put it under Daffy Duck and Egghead, just because I find the hunter versus prey dynamic more enjoyable. Outside of having a really generic name, like, are you shitting me? They couldn't come up with a better name. Can you imagine the meeting for deciding a name for this? Yo, it has Porky and Daffy in it, so why not call it Porky and Daffy? Oh, great job, you get a fucking promotion! But outside of that, this short is probably my favorite so far. I say so far because I'm not even out of the 30s yet, so my opinions could change. But as of right now, yes, this is my favorite. The story is very simple, having Daffy fight a champ-fighting cock. No, literally. I love how he looks like a Glass Joe type character, you know, skinny and weak. Then right when his robe is taken off, he acts like a lion that Daffy needs to tame back to his corner. A very clever joke, in my opinion. I love how everyone here goes beyond their limits of animation, especially Daffy. You can tell just by the way he moves, he's, well, a Looney Tune. Even characters like Porky are putting on their A game here. Even when a character gets hit, it feels like they're made out of silly putty, which is so satisfying to see. The jokes, though very simple, are pretty funny. Like, for example, the whole get on your tricycle and no hitting below the bell, and the fact it just turns into baseball at the end, going at the top of the list. It's just a fun, simple short, and that's what I want from Looney Tunes. The Daffy Duck is a short I want to like, but I'm not that crazy big of a fan of it. So after being kicked out of an operation by Dr. Quack, who was operating on a football, just to go show he's as much as a quack as Daffy, Daffy finds a patient for himself. Now, there are some things I like about this short, like how I can kind of tell that Mel finally got his footing on Daffy's voice. I think they got the highness and lisp down perfectly here. And it sounds exactly like the Daffy you all know and love. And I think Daffy is really well animated here too, but then there's stuff I don't like. One major problem with this short that really pisses me off is that Daffy barely has any lip-synced audio, which is very noticeable, and it makes me not want to watch the short because of it.
Where's the patient? Where's the patient? I gotta find the patient. Hello, chum!
Also, I don't find the artificial lung joke that funny. I mean, it's pretty goofy seeing Daffy bend and morph like that, but I don't know. This screams like something Disney would have done with Donald Duck. Actually, this joke feels a lot similar to the one Donald did in Clock Cleaners, where Donald tries stopping himself from ticking like a clock. Except here, it's a little funnier of how far they inflate Daffy. Oh god, that sounds wrong. I also find this joke funny where Porky's whistling on the side of the street, but when him and Daffy turn the corner, the music is replaced with Daffy going, woo, 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 woo. That's actually a really clever joke. But like, once Porky gets into the picture, the short is almost over at that point. I think it really should have been Daffy chasing Porky around the hospital the whole time. That would have been kind of a cool idea, and lean way more into creative jokes, because the end is just the artificial lung joke again, but with Porky here this time. Yeah, but oh well, going above what price Porky, but under Daffy Duck and Egghead. At least this short got us a cool Daffy Alton World of Mayhem. Now, here's a short that I think is fine. Daffy finds his way out of movie law and sort of just dicks around the film set. It's not like Hollywood Daffy, where he eventually gets chased off by a security guard. Nope. I guess he's just an employee. Also, despite the fact I think Daffy character-wise is fine, I have no idea what the deal is with his design. It kind of looks like a worse version of his design from Daffy Duck and Egghead. But yeah, at least the white thing on his neck is now white. Also, the character of Von Hamburger is just annoying sounding. They try to do this unique thing where he rolls his R's, but Robotnik from Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog this ain't. Also, the ending with Daffy's Frankenstein movie isn't as funny as I think they were expecting.
It's too brutal. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Only is where you'll find me, and when I find that stuff. Also, the chickens make me uncomfortable. I don't know why. There are some enjoyable jokes, like the producer's reaction to Daffy's film. Also, all these dogs just lighting the frick out of Hamburger's cigarette. And I can't forget about the scene where Daffy literally replaces the film reel with live bullets. He's trying to commit murder. But other than that, the short is kind of meh. It even reuses the ending from Daffy Duck and Egghead, where Von Hamburger goes nuts and acts like Daffy. Too bad this was Tex Avery's last Daffy short. He just had to go out with a whimper, didn't he? Bottom of the list. At least he made some MGM shorts that were pretty funny. You know, it's kind of crazy that for the first time Jones directed a Daffy short, he nailed Daffy's character really well.
Not bad for a guy that never took a lesson in his life.
Sure, he's not bouncing off the walls in this short, but he doesn't really need to this time around. The short is a simple hunter versus prey setup, but it takes place in the Stone Age, probably before any of you were even born. Okay, that's a really funny joke. Casper himself is probably like the most bitchy character ever. Like the way he talks, the way he walks, even when he sounds happy, you can just tell he's a massive bitch!
Gee, thanks a lot.
Bet he's a glass half empty guy. Also, Daffy's antics here are really enjoyable. I love how he can simply just tell Casper that he can't swim in the pond and he obliges. Also, Figo is a fine enough character. The scene where he gets smashed in by a rock was the only highlight for him. Like, holy shit, bro, this looks like something McKimson would have made. Also, the whole duck sign gag somehow goes from funny to this is going on for way too long to background being funny. How do you do that, Chuck? Also, the ending has all of them die. Like, no joke, they all angels now. So just for these things, I'll put it above the Daffy Duck, below Daffy Duck and Egghead, because I still find that version of Daffy a little more enjoyable.
Good night, folks.
Not yet! Now here's a short that goes above Daffy Duck and Egghead, and also one that I've never seen before. Too bad the short doesn't really get re-released that often because of these native fellows. But then again, I don't think it's as shockingly offensive as other cartoons. Bugs Bunny nips the nips. I mean, not trying to start drama, but still. The visual gags here are just so damn funny. Like Daffy just busting through the wall, and him swallowing all the bullets, and Porky just straight up using him as a gun. Also, I like that Daffy is portrayed as the general, and when he tries to yell at everyone to get out of their beds, they just instantly do it. He even has a big-ass sword holder, but then just pulls out a little dagger. Like, this is hilarious. Totally recommend watching this one. You know, if there's a higher quality version of it. I find it interesting that this short and Scalp Trouble both have unique Daffy and Porky title cards. Weird they never use it again. Surprisingly enough, I expected a kind of boring short, but no, I really enjoyed this one. Despite the fact I would later reuse a joke here in the short booty hatch. You said booby. I find it funny that Daffy is drunk as shit in this short. But also, god damn it, he doesn't really have any lip sync! Was that gonna be a running thing for Daffy? Like, make him talk like Popeye? Because that would have been annoying as hell. Also, the Popeye shorts have like a valid excuse, and also adds to the comedy of it. Warner Brothers was just being lazy. Also, the fact that Mrs. Daffy Duck, quite literally, that's her name, could only talk in quacks, I don't know, I think that's funny. And the ending where even the buzzers get drunk is really funny! I think I'll actually put this one above the last one, but below Porky and Daffy. And that's a wrap on the 1930 shorts. Yeah, there weren't that many, but that kind of makes sense because Daffy was sort of a late bloomer. So now jumping into the 40s where Daffy really started to shine. Oh, were you expecting me to rank each short from the decade like how Alice Markey does for his rankings? Fuck that! Jumping to the next one! Leroy J. To be honest, the name's Porky's Last Stand. You expect it to be about, like, fighting or war, but no, Porky owns a restaurant and Daffy's there as a worker. And due to trying to find a cow to whack, he got a bull. And this show is a bull lot of fun. Like, not only do I find the intro to be pretty funny with it sort of parodying the whole Disney sappy song number. Granted, there's like no violence in this short, which is kind of lame, but they do make it up with some really quick, sharp jokes, and especially character animation. Of course, the standout star being Daffy, despite having a odd design quirk, like him wearing shoes. Him wearing shoes! But also him having these rings around his eyes, which was the thing he had wisecracks too. And if it wasn't for the next short, I think it might have been a permanent design, which I'm glad it wasn't. To be honest, there's not a ton to say, but hey, that's okay, this short is just good. I guess I might hate the script, I don't know. Now this is an iconic short, being the first time Fritz Freeling directed a Daffy short. Daffy swindles Porky out of the studio so he can have a chance to be a star in the Looney Tunes shorts, and Porky ends up on a wild goose chase through the studio. If you're not blind, you can see this short did something revolutionary. It blends live action and animation together. Sure, Looney Tunes did sort of do this before, with even their first ever short, Bosco the Talking Kid, but this short pushes it to the 9th degree. I think for early 1940s, this is a fucking amazing job blending Porky and Daffy to the real world. Sure, there's some ways to get around things that are very easy to see, like why do they animate Leon throwing the paper away? Also, seeing Leon is pretty entertaining, but I think the short would later foreshadow something I would end up hating. Daffy's egotistical personality that would be given to him by Jones. Sure, Freeling directed this short, but you can see that the personality is sort of leaking through this version of Daffy. But other than that, it's a really simple and fun story. Great blend of animation and live action. It's going below Wisecracks. Okay, well, why is it not at the top, despite me praising it the whole time? Well, even though there are a couple of funny jokes, it doesn't go that crazy hard with the comedy. Also, it doesn't really feel like a Daffy short. I know that sounds stupid, but it acts more like a Porky Pig short, and I'm here for Daffy. If I was ranking Porky shorts, well, yeah, no duh, but I'm here for my favorite duck, not so stinky pig. So, yeah, oh well. At least it cracks the top 5, so don't worry, it's not complete shit. God bless Freeling.
They try to cut you down to 9,000?
This short short is not all that good. So the simple concept is that a ton of books come alive in the store, and I swear to Christ, if you want to binge watch Looney Tunes or something like that, they use this format a ton. Books come to life and jack off or something, then one big bad book character comes in, and the books stop him. Like, for God's sakes, later we're gonna see that exact same concept again in another Daffy short, Book Review, with Zoot Suit, and this short does not go that hard compared to Book Review. There are a couple funny jokes here.
Mouthful. Look, I'm just skin and bones.
And that ending, jeez, Daffy boned an actual decoy, and it worked? Also, the Wolf of Wall Street being an actual wolf is a bit of a stretch in my opinion. Just make him the big bad wolf. I mean, they would do that later in Book Review, so why not here? Why are the hands animated so grossly realistic? It's a duck, he doesn't need human hands. Also, yeah, kind of staying at the bottom, maybe even below Daffy Duck in Hollywood, because at least that one had a few more jokes that were funny, and you know, wasn't racist. I can't believe it. Clampett kind of released a stinker. One thing I will mostly give this short credit for is that Daffy's really well animated here. He acts like Daffy is supposed to be, and he's also really depressed here. Like, holy shit, props to the animators. Wouldn't be surprised if someone used stills from this short for like a shitty creepypasta. But anyways, I find Mrs. Duck to be a prick. Like, sure, she does have a pretty justifiable reason to hate Daffy, but like, she is shown not to be a saint either. Also, like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't think the short is bad, but definitely not a great one. But I bet it'll be a godsend compared to the shorts from like the 60s, which we're still in 1941. It's his first boner! Another short directed by Chuck. You know, his first outing with Daffy was pretty good. This one's not. Funny enough, I was actually singing the song Over the Seas because it reminded me of when Daffy sung it in Duck Amuck. And funny enough, the short started with that song. That was kind of the only enjoyable moment I got from the short. This really feels like an early Bug short Jones would make, which sort of feels like an insult to early Bug shorts like Super Rabbit. Speaking of Bugs, Daffy feels really not in character. He actually does feel like that awkward early Bugs. He even says Doc.
Swell view, eh, Doc?
Like, what the fuck? Conrad himself is also a pretty mediocre character. I get making one-off villains are hard, but first of all, Jones is like the king of making one-off characters. Even at the time, there was stuff like Dover Boys. And second, my god, bro, he's so basic and boring. And also, that's just Pinto Colvig doing his goofy voice. Fuck, dude, he even does the same laugh.
And we are, too.
I think the main problem with this short is Daffy has two toes. Yeah, Jones would do that for a little while for Daffy, and it was really weird. Okay, but in actuality, this short feels really freaking slow, which is weird because I thought Daffy Duck and the Dinosaur was paced really well. Like, jokes feel like they're dragged on with not that good of a punchline. Like, two examples I could think of, one being this scene where Conrad corners Daffy, and Daffy starts playing patty cake with him. A fine setup, but it doesn't lead into anything. Daffy plays it very slowly, and then just runs away. There's not even an ounce of violence. In fact, this short barely has violence to begin with. Second is the running gag in the short being that the captain of the ship would walk right through the mayhem, making Daffy and Conrad salute until he leaves. I thought they were gonna build up to something like Daffy disguising himself as the captain, but nope! The only joke with it is when Conrad uses a missile to kill Daffy, and the missile stops too. That's it! And then they lazily run off the ship even though Conrad can't fly. Yeah, in my opinion, going at the bottom of the list. At least the henpecked duck Daffy was well characterized, and it wasn't slow as fuck. Okay, I was being a bit harsh. There's one pretty funny joke here, where when Daffy gets introduced, Conrad has to clean his footprints, and starts singing the Over the Sea song really aggressively. They did a similar joke with Bugs in the short Easter Eggs, and I think a character singing a joyful song while being super pissed is hilarious, but that doesn't save her from being at the bottom of the list. Hey kids! Post-editing Isaac here, I guess. I just simply wanted to clarify one thing about Conrad the Sailor segment, because I know somebody in the comments is gonna be like, actually, you got this wrong, so, I am 2 steps ahead. But anyways, so, Conrad actually isn't a one-off. Yeah, you know how much I was, bitching about him being a lame one-off? Well, apparently no, he's not a lame one-off, he's just a lame character, because he actually appeared sporadically throughout a ton of Jones's early shorts, or more like his transitional shorts, where he was trying to get out of the cutesy Disney-esque shorts into the much more wild and crazy, actual Looney Tunes-esque shorts like Daffy Horse and Dover Boys, but anyways, so, Conrad just made random appearances, and I heard nobody talk about these shorts, probably because they were loaded donkey too. Like, the only reason why I didn't, like, know about Conrad, like, the only reason why I know Conrad is not a one-off was because I let Conrad the Sailor, like, autoplay into a next random Looney Tunes short, and guess who was in it? That's right, motherfucking Conrad. I apologize for that. I just didn't know, but I still think my point stands on him being a lame character. It's just, he's not a one-off. He's just a character that appeared like 5 times, and then nobody gave a fuck about him after that. The only reason why he's relevant is because of my boy Daffy. What a loser.
Yum, yum. Hand sandwich.
Who the hell is Norman? Anywho, I find it interesting that they do not use the merry-go-round broke down here as the title card theme, which is freaking odd, but after the last few duds, this short is actually really well made. Daffy's design and personality, I think it's really good. Sure, his zaniness is starting to sort of tone down, but I actually do like most of the jokes here. I like how you can obviously tell the background change, like no smooth transition, just boom, winter. And that's funny because of that. Even the villains, while pretty generic, they do work and are more funny than Diet Goofy. The animation is really good too. The jokes land super well.
Hey, just a minute, bub, just a minute.
Overall, a nice watch. Norman, don't know who you are, but you made a pretty good short. Oh, he was an animator? Oops. You know, it's kind of nutty how many times they use Jekyll as a character in Looney Tunes. He might as well be one of those obscure, underrated Looney Tunes characters, but he ain't as cool as Batman and Costello. Also, yes, I said Jekyll. Apparently, that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. I don't know, a nerd told me that. Oh, wait, it's actually pronounced Jerkle? Huh. Weird, isn't it? But also, what the fuck, Norman's back? And it's a good short? The last Joe's and Clampett shorts have been really mediocre, and then you come along making 2 really good Daffy shorts, and then you never made another Daffy short again? Okay, so this short Daffy got the hiccups and decides to go to Jerkle to get some help. I sort of like how Jerkle and his high name Chloe here, which actually is a nice circle at the beginning of the short, where Daffy's trying to send a message to Chloe, which is a happy birthday letter from Frankenstein. The doctor or the monster? I don't know, man, I don't care. But anyways, Jerkle's characterization here is just pretty good in my opinion. He's a bit innocent and a little bit of a goober himself, which makes him charming to watch. But his Chloe design, I always thought was stupid looking. Like, it doesn't really look scary, which I guess that was the point. It was supposed to be a little more goofy. But still, I mean, Looney Tunes knew how to make a pretty scary high design, so I don't know. But what about Daffy himself? Well, he's simply fun to watch. I think his hiccups sound so stupid that they're really funny to listen to, and the way he defends himself is really charming, and he still acts like a screwball too, which really helps. But also, he says this.
Hey, Doc, what's cooking?
Okay, just seeing Daffy or any cartoon character from this era just sock somebody in the face when they're not this big tough guy is funny. But why does he say another Bugs Bunny line? It's so weird! But I talked about this short long enough. Going up there on the list. Damn you, Norman.
You don't know me very well, do we? You don't know me very well, do we?
Norman! Okay, but for real, this is a nice simple short. So Daffy is a cowboy just chilling, and then he comes across a girl and her boyfriend, who's a human, comes to murderize him. I do think the middle part where Daffy is dressed up as the girl duck Indian is a little slow, but when the chase is on, that's where the short really picks up the pace. Shit like the painted and penetrated forest are really funny as visual gags, and Daffy's song at the start is really nicely animated, so a really nice short. Unfortunately, this would be Norman's last short, which really freaking blows because I actually think he has one of my favorite interpretations of Daffy, so it's a darn shame we don't get to see more of it. But, Godspeed, Norman, you magnificent bastard.
You broke my little hammer.
Okay, Jones definitely knocked it out of the ballpark with this one. So Daffy pesters Porky, and Porky can't do anything about it because he can't shoot any ducks. So in that case, Daffy starts bewildering him every chance he gets. The animation here, though not crazy, is really well put together, and the jokes they do tell are really funny. Like Daffy is just going out of his way to fuck this little piggy up, and the twist where Porky gets to shoot Daffy is also very funny, and to an extent rewarding to see Porky finally have a chance to act revenge, and Daffy trying his damn hardest to escape is, well, enjoyable. It's getting very hard to come up with new ways to say a short is funny, okay? Also, seeing Daffy swim around while going woohoo is oddly nostalgic. I mean, it's been forever since he did this, so let me have this. I really found this short enjoyable. It was really hard, but I'm gonna have to put it on the top of the list. This short, though not as well animated or insane as Porky and Daffy, it's just way funnier. So, at the top of the list. Sorry, Clampett, but Jones got you beat for like the millionth time. Now, hear me out, okay? I was expecting this to be a cheap ripoff of Porky and Daffy, but it actually does try and succeed at being different. Too bad it's shit at its goal. So Daffy thinks Elmer's being unfair due to all the stuff he has. And what does Daffy have? A bulletproof vest? Oh, how did I get there? I just feel like the short doesn't go that crazy hard. Now, there are funny jokes in here, but I feel like it should have gone harder in the boxing scenario. Like, Elmer's down before the match starts, and Daffy's not as crazy as I wanted him to be. Now, I know that technically would have made it similar to Porky and Daffy, but hey, it would have made it a little funnier. Though Elmer does get his licks in at the end, which, to be honest, is nice to see, because he didn't even have a chance at all. I will give the short this. It was the first time Daffy and Elmer were paired up, which isn't a super rare thing to happen, but it's also pretty neat when it does happen. And no, Daffy Duck and Egghead doesn't count, because Egghead is apparently a completely different character from Elmer. This isn't a Happy Rabbit case, so I'm not really gonna go that high, but it's not gonna be at the bottom anytime soon. Now this is a classic Daffy short, and I mean it was directed by Clampett, so it makes sense. So Mr. Meek, as he's called, needs to get a duck dinner for his wife, and of course the duck is Daffy. The short is just plain fun and really gets who Daffy is, and also has the iconic "Watch it, Bob!" and "You ain't just whistling Dixie!" I think every scene works, and I understand who Daffy is. So is it better than My Favorite Duck? Well, no. I do think the jokes work in this one, like a lot, but I don't know. I think the short is too basic, but at the same time, I think it works in its favor. It's not trying to be the greatest Daffy short ever, so I'm putting it at number 2. It's a simple yes, but that's why we love it. Or, I mean, I don't know if you love it, but I love it. Okay, moving on. Ah, so that's where people got their kinks for ducks. You know, I always get this short confused with the short where Daffy gets drafted in the war and has to escape the little man from the draft board. But no, these are two different beasts. The plot is that Porky wants to go on vacation away from his casting job, but Daffy, coming in the last minute, tries to convince Porky to let his actor, Sleepy Lagoon, be in a film. Daffy showcases various acts Sleepy can do, while Porky just wants to get the fuck away. I think Daffy as a casting agent really works, and it's funny because, like, he can basically do all this stuff himself. Why doesn't he be an actor instead? And also, the ending is hilarious with Sleepy turning into an amazing opera singer and then going into a coughing fit.
My heart.
Surprised he never made a single comeback. So yeah, it's sounding like a broken record. This is a very fun short to watch, and I recommend it. I'm gonna be all those things after this review. Yes, even the corn one, whatever that one means. Wait, Tashlin directed this short? You learn something new every day. And also, he makes possibly my favorite short in his first try. Are you kidding me? But anyways, getting ahead of myself, aren't I? So the plot is that Daffy accidentally wasted all of his money that he and Porky were going to use to pay the hotel manager and a gambling game with Yosemite Sam. I mean, come on, the voice is almost identical.
You is a dead duck. Duck.
More like the man with 100 voices! Ooh! The short is very enjoyable. Outside of Daffy sometimes being drawn a little too off-model for my liking, this is a very fun and, okay, these reviews might be a little shorter, because there are so many times I can say, this short is funny, or this short is boring, so expect these to get a little shorter as time goes on, but I think everything just clicks and works in this short. I'd probably call this one my favorite. The hotel manager especially. I think it's a great foil for Porky and Daffy.
I guess I showed that overstuffed turnip.
The jokes are really well put together. The animation and camera angles feel like something out of a Jones short. Like, look at these dynamic shots. God damn. Wait, Tashlin was an animator too? That makes sense. And Bugs appears at the end? Going at the top of the list. This is a really amazing short. God bless you, Tashlin. But why is Bugs way taller than Daffy? This is scary. Fun fact, this is actually the last Daffy short that would be in black and white. So from now on, it's color here on out, except for colorblind people. Also, the first Daffy short to be a World War II propaganda film. So outside of having imagery I don't think YouTube would like, this is a pretty good short. Most of the jokes work, and I find it funny that the bomb that destroys the scrap pile is a goat. That is super clever. And just like the premise, the jokes are also super clever. Like the glasses bit, Daffy thinking he's threatening someone when in reality it's just a mirror, Daffy singing off all the items in the scrap pile, predating Weird Al by a long shot when he did this for the hardware store song, and also the speech all the other ducks give to Daffy was pretty heartwarming, especially for, you know, the people going through World War II back then. It probably motivated them a lot. Also, the fact that at the end Daffy thinks it was all a dream, but in actuality it wasn't, was pretty neat. You know, it wasn't a cough foul, but anyways, a pretty fun short, and an interesting look at the times. Should I count this one as a Daffy short? I mean, technically it has Daffy in it, so I guess why not? Now, I get what the short was. It's a big parody of Fantasia, and I think it's a parody done very well. Seeing Elmer acting as a stand-in for Deems Taylor is really charming, and I love the joke where his silhouette is this big hunky guy, and then Elmer's there, not really looking his best. But getting into the segments, I'll quickly look at the Bugs one. It's fine. To be honest, I think you can kind of tell in the short Clampett didn't really like working with Bugs, because this segment is not one of his greatest, though I do like that Porky's hunting him. That's pretty neat, but other than that, it's really meh. Now, the Daffy segment is really fun. The music and animation sync up really well. The jokes they do are really funny and amazing, and oh my god, Beaky Buzzard's dad? Ugh, get the fuck away from me! Jeez, no wonder why Beaky is fatherless. Overall, despite the fact that it's a pretty boring Bugs segment, but hey, in this video, we're telling Bugs to fuck himself, so this is still a very fun short. I think this is a perfect example of a wartime cartoon. I mean, when you think of cartoons that were made during the war, you think of Diffuder's Face and Daffy the Commando. I really do enjoy this short for the theme. The villain Von, Vulture, and Schultz, I think are very funny and entertaining to watch. Really wish they would appear in more Looney Tunes media. But I mean, at the same time, they are Nazis, so I don't know, that would work. Also, the joke where Vaughn goes Hail Hitler to a skunk and then shrugs it off is so fucking clever. I didn't get it the first time, but hey, I got it the second. Also, this short has the second most insane ending to a Looney Tunes short, up there with Duck Amuck. Daffy assaults Hitler. That's amazing. Vaughn just slams a tomato on a picture of Hitler, but here, no, Daffy goes the extra mile. Reason why is Daffy is the better duck. One thing I do wish this short did was just be a little more funny. Now, I'm not saying it's because Freeling directed this one, but at the same time, I kind of wish someone like Clampett or Tassern was in charge here, but overall, you get the point. God, these endings of these reviews are worse than the 1960 shorts. Oh, wait, ain't I going a little too far there? Oh, we have a long way ahead, don't we? I was really coming in here expecting to find this short boring. Maybe it's a Conrad wash still in my mouth, so I'm expecting every Jones short before the Daffy changes to be shit. But really, this short was pretty good. I don't really find Tom to be that interesting of a character. Like, I don't care if he dies. And why is his name first? Why does he even have a name? Ah, yes, Jones, your next breakout character, Tom the Turk.
What a pal, 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 what a pal.
But what I do like is the chase that happens with Porky and Daffy. It's got some great slapstick in the animation on Porky. Like, the way he charges this run here is so goddamn good. But I don't know what it is, but I think Daffy's a little too clever in this short. What do I mean by that? I feel like Daffy acts way too much like Bugs, to the point where it feels like Bugs is just wearing a duck suit in this short, which is really funny because when Bugs was conceived, he was basically just Daffy in a rabbit suit. Like with something like Porky and Daffy or Porky's Last Stand, if you replace Daffy with Bugs, you have to actually change the writing for the two around, but this short, not really. But hey, I still think it's funny, and I do find it really charming seeing Daffy use a ton of ice tricks, so it's still a good short despite that weird flaw. I mean, and again, why take my word for it? Let's see what someone else has to say about it. Yeah, that's right, a completely random stranger. So let's go get my phone. This shot feels familiar. Yeah, hello, stranger? I know we never met, but
No, I don't want bread or cocaine. Just ask me your opinions on Tom, Turk, and Daffy.
The 1944 animated short, Tom, Turk, and Daffy, tells a story of desperation and betrayal. A classic wild goose chase, or in this case, a turkey and duck chase, has an old tale of hunter and the hunted in a loony fashion. The humor and irony go well with the vibe they're trying to go off, as tables turn with Daffy becoming the one hunted. Also, at the 4 minutes 48 second mark, there's a single frame where Porky's eyes are roughly 2 feet out of his head. A silly animation error indeed.
Well, that opinion was trash.
So, time to get rid of the evidence so the cartel don't find me.
So this short is basically your run-of-the-mill Insomniac episode. So Porky and Daffy have to go sleep or else they're fired, and everything in the world is trying to get them. Now there's 2 things well known about this short. One is that Porky's wearing pants. What's going on? Has the world come to shit? But also, this short is a remake of the short Porky's Bad Time Story. Now it's in color, has more jokes which are way funnier, and also the fact Daffy is replacing a whole character, being Gabby Goat. Who the fuck cares about Gabby Go? Now, I do think it's pretty impressive that they were able to reanimate Gabby into Daffy. And also, I think this short is way better. I mean, Daffy and Porky shoot the moon and a clock respectively, so definitely going around the top. It's really well made remake, to the point you don't even really need to see the original, unless, I don't know, you're a huge Gabby Goat fan. Oh, but like, -2. It's kind of funny I say this because in the middle of doing this dialogue for TikTok Tucker, you can see here, I'm currently working on a script for a fucking Gabby Go character retrospective. So, we can count it now as all but one fan? Me? I don't know. Anyways, back to the video.
Well, if it isn't the Dover boys.
I think this one is fine. It's your run-of-the-mill Porky and Daffy short. I just think a major problem is not the short itself, but I think I saw it too many times, and the fact it's not that crazy good, it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. I just think a couple jokes work, but other than that, it's pretty meh for me. But also, why does the background look so dark and dank? Like, even Porky himself looks really smudged and gross here. Like, did somebody shit on the film a little? Like, God, throw in more bright colors. However, seeing Daffy go, woohoo, is always a nice thing to see, so there's that. Not a lot to say. Pretty average. Daffy kisses a guy, confirms he's gay. Also, wait, one of his ducks is called Sylvester?
Sylvester?
Well, suffering succotash! Why is it so loud? Okay, really, this is one of the most boring names out of all the Daffy shorts so far. Really? Slightly Daffy? Like, I get the joke, but my god, it's so boring of a name. But actually, this is a remake of Scout Trouble. So do I think it's a good remake? That is way better than the original? Unlike TikTok Tucker, where the remake basically blows the original out of the water, this one, not really. Now, there are things that are better than the original, like I think the Indians charging to the fort is way funnier. They actually throw in jokes, like one's riding a bike, but I think they also remove way too much. Like, one of the most baffling exceptions is that they removed the panning shot of the fort? What? Why? It establishes where the short is taking place, but here you're just thrown in like I was dropped as a baby. They also removed the last bit on the 10 Indians boys joke, where the dog puts a slash mark on the Indian side, completely ruins the joke! Also, the original felt more chaotic with stuff like the animation, and the music especially. Here it feels really slow, but at the end of the day, it's still Scout Trouble, now even in color, so it's kind of interchangeable, but as of right now, I'm putting it below Scout Trouble, and then next week I'll put it above, and then the week after that, I'll put it below,
Porky! Porky! Porky!
Why did they tone down the screaming? They didn't do that in TikTok Tucker. In fact, they amplified it. So why did they tone it down here?
Man, I am such a whiny bitch. God damn it, Tashlin! Maybe I was wrong about Clampett, because judging by this ranking, it seems like that he is my favorite director. But anywho, despite what I said about Daffy the Commando, I think the short is just way funnier. So Daffy's a carrying pigeon, or, well, duck, obviously, but also he's a woman hater, aka sexist. So the main villain is Hata Maria, this, Homina. I swear to God, I'm not a furry! Wait, she gets to appear in Tiny Toons?! Yet Vaughn gets nothing?! They're both fucking Nazis! Oh wait, I can see why, never mind. But anyways, this short goes fucking hard with the jokes.
missed.
Ah, something new has been added. Woo-hoo. Usually gay birds. This night they are grim.
Also, they say gay here. I just think it's funny because, you know, gay used to be another word for happy. Like, I was laughing non-stop in this short, which, you know, it did its job well. You find it weird that in the beginning, all of it rhymes, which is okay. It's just, why though? Like, when Daffy gets in a picture, they stop, so I really don't see the point. But other than that, it's an amazing short that I totally recommend if you can find it. God bless Tasha! My opinions on this short are on par with the Daffy Duck. I really want to like this short, but I feel like there's things holding it back. Now, the plot is that Elmer's a Cupid. First of all, right off the bat, genius idea. The comedy of that alone is spewing like Elmer's bullets. In the opening with Elmer shooting other animals and the reactions, I honestly think could have worked on its own as a standalone short. But also, one thing I don't like is Elmer's voice. He only does his iconic laugh here, but, like, you can tell Arthur Q. Bryan is not doing it. It sounds so fucking off. Which is weird, because, I mean, what, they didn't want to ask Brian to do it? Some Elmer Fuddlass? Like, what the heck? I think it would have been pretty cheap, guys, but another thing, too, is that when Daffy gets shot by the arrow, it basically turns into a discount Pepe Le Pew short. So basically what happens is that Elmer shoots Daffy with a giant-ass arrow in his ass, because he told Elmer to go fuck himself, and then Daffy gets attracted to a hen, and then the hen wants to run away from him, and of course Daffy's in hot pursuit. It does change it up a bit with the rooster husband getting involved, and I actually do like that the rooster accepts Daffy's apology, because he does give a pretty good excuse, instead of just cliche, probably what Jones would have done, where he just beats the shit out of him instantly. One thing I do love about this short is the jokes and animations. The jokes here actually do work really well, and also, I think this is one of, if not the best time Daffy's been animated. He is so expressive with his movements and mannerisms. I even think to an extent his movements and design in the Tashlin short will go on to inspire Wabbit's version of the character, though more exaggerated. However, one thing that's odd is that the short kind of just ends. Like, Daffy gets shot again and then kisses the hen, and then that's it. That's all, folks! Did the rooster slit his throat? I have no idea! Apparently the ending was supposed to have Daffy say, "If you haven't tried it, don't knock it!" Which, like, what? I think the ending needed a rewrite. That makes no sense. But other than having a really good animation and jokes, the story and setup most of the time falls flat, so we'll be going that crazy high. But hey, I still recommend it. A really good short, but it has a couple of screws loose. Now, this is a short I was talking about when I mentioned in the Yankee Doodle Daffy segment. And hey, Clampet's back, taking the wheel again. So Daffy is super patriotic about the Allies winning the war, but right when he finds out the little man from the draft board is gonna come in, he instantly wants no part in it. Now, yes, this short has contracted the other wartime shorts, where Daffy is happily a part of the war as a guard for a scrap pile, a soldier, and a carrying duck, but it's fucking Looney Tunes, so it doesn't really matter. Also, this seems like something Daffy would do, so I'll let it slide. This short is really good. The animation is very spastic, and the fact that he turns into a lightning bolt when running is really funny. Also, the little man from the draft board is just a pretty fun character, having the iconic,
Well, now, I wouldn't say that.
which is a line that I would use for the Chupacabra in my videos.
Now, I wouldn't say that.
Overall, a really fun and not only Daffy short, but also Clampett short too. Cherry on top for Daffy going to hell. This short is weird, man. So, basically, it's a simple Daffy versus Hunter short, but there's an added third character, being this yellow duck with a briefcase, and eventually Daffy and Hunter want to know what's inside the briefcase. I get that they wanted to add another character conflict, but I don't know, man, it just doesn't work. Also, the little duck character is really meh. He does have some good lines, but at the same time, he's annoying as fuck. Luckily, the characters also agree on this, so hey, good for me. Also, I do not get the Hunter in this short. Apparently, he's a caricature of Victor Mori, but, like, he looks so similar to Elmer that you might as well be Elmer. And And also, he's not even that crazy funny, so what's the damn point? You did my boy Elmer dirty! Also, the barrel joke is so weird. Like, I feel like it was only added for filler, because it's not even really that funny. Also, the payoff at the end, where it's revealed that the briefcase just has a piece of paper that says the words DN on it, works for the most part. No, I think it would have been cooler if it was actually the That's All Folks title card. I mean, characters interacting with it does happen sometimes, so what gives? This is a pretty mediocre short, not gonna lie, guys.
Well, maybe if it just had Elmer, it could've worked.
You're just an imposter, aren't you?
God damn it, Tashlin! You know how to make a Daffy Duck short! You know what? Fuck clamping! Tashlin's the king of Daffy Duck shorts! As you can tell, I really like this short. The story is simple, but to the point. Basically, Daffy's a pet duck to a father and daughter, and well, he's a loon. As you can see, the father, of course, wanting no part of this, eventually gets another duck for his daughter to have. This short works on so many levels! The big gags, the small gags, and especially the animation. Holy shit! Daffy is so goddamn good with dynamic posing, clean animation, especially the iconic scene where he's acting all crazy, and the father's stone cold staring ahead. Which prompts Daffy to do the same thing, which, like, had me tearing up, bro. It's too goddamn good. I know for a fact I've done this before, so it's funny to see it here. And the fact Daffy can't kill the baby duck, but then decides to make her down some growth pills for it to turn into a hot girl duck, which then leads to the smashing, is fucking nutty. Also, Daffy has confirmed bang a girl, and this time it's not a toy, going at the top of the list. The short is the exact definition of funny. Like, no, I'm serious. Go to a dictionary, go look at the word funny, and you'll see a transcript of nasty quacks. And the fact this was Tashlin's last Daffy short is so fucking depressing. Like, goddamn, you make so many funny and good Daffy shorts, Tashlin. Why is you abandon me?
You forgot something?
I'll say I did. I forgot. The government doesn't want us to do any non-essential traveling.
Despite the fact I find this short really funny, I don't know what anyone else thinks about it. Well, why don't I just ask somebody? I mean, I did that with Tom Turk. I could ask one of my friends instead of a complete stranger, I don't know. I mean, then again, though, it was kind of a long walk, but now I can do it again. Watch. Okay. Hey, Jaden, my man. No, I don't want bread or cocaine. I just want to know, what's your opinions on the short film Nasty Quacks, the one with Daffy Duck?
Bro, I have to like fucking hunch my back. This shit sucks. Hello everybody, it is I, Jado Plato. Alright, so I'm doing the fucking short Nasty Quacks. Why is it fucking called Nasty Quacks? Well, you're gonna find out why. You're gonna find out why. Okay, so it basically starts like this. This fucking bald ass dude who has like the funniest face imaginable. Why does he look like that? Why do you look like that? He gives his daughter this fucking duck. Oh fuck. It's Daffy Duck. Fuck. I guess this is essentially just Daffy's origin story or something. Is this canon? Is this the lore? Yeah, so basically Daffy grows up, becomes an annoying little shit. That's how this short starts. But the short doesn't really start until the fucking dining scene where Daffy's telling some story about like a guy who kicked a cop or something. I don't know. It's not really that important. All that's really important to note is that Daffy is really annoying in the scene. So annoying that he pisses off this guy. That guy. He pisses him off. And this is pretty much where Daffy and the dad begin to have beef with each other? What the hell? Anyway, so yeah, they basically have a butter knife fight. And this leads to the upstairs, in which case, what the fuck? Who the hell built this house like that? Who built a house like that? Daffy pretends to show mercy because he's a dick, and he kicks this dad in the ass. Okay. And shortly after that, Daffy goes back to the dining table, right before the dad's coming up to like fucking beat his shit in, but then the daughter's like, nah. She literally does a finger wag. Nah. By the way, I have to like bend down to like talk to you because like my camera's my chair. My camera's like on my chair. Eventually, this turns into a battle of wits between Daffy and the dad. In which case, the dad very much loses. He like tries to poison Daffy, and ends up getting poisoned instead. Cause duh, it's Who do you think you're gonna fool with this? You fool! But eventually the dad, I'm not kidding, the dad starts to seduce Daffy. Daffy. He does that. And he lures him before trying to fucking chop him with an axe, only leaving him temporarily bald. However, eventually, Daffy takes the hint. He finally realizes, oh, you know what? You don't want me here, I shouldn't be here, so he goes off to fucking leave. Like the little guy he is, like the little gentleman he is, because he's just like, he's just such a gentleman. And then he comes back. Let me grab my fucking notes, alright? Let me grab my notes. Look at my notes. You can't read them. He comes back after leaving, right? He, quote, says, the government doesn't want us to do any non-essential traveling. What the fuck does that mean? Alright, so after coming back, the dad suddenly gets the idea, the genius idea. To get his daughter a new duckling to replace Daffy, which I mean, yeah, that's pretty smart. Let me shake your hand. Fuck you. It's gonna come back to bite him, but not yet. I'm still getting there. God damn it. Anyway, yeah, the daughter, the plan starts to work. The daughter likes the duckling more than Daffy. Daffy gets essentially replaced because he's a bitch, and the dad is free to do whatever he wants. He kind of reminds me of someone. He kind of reminds me of someone. And then eventually, Daffy literally gets his ass kicked. I don't know why I thrusted towards you. I'm so sorry. Come here. Shh. What the fuck? But then Daffy comes back. He comes back with a plan to kill the new duckling. Like the fucking asshole he is. So he goes into the duckling's new room, which was his old room, by the way. That's lore. That's canon. It was literally said. I don't know why I'm only bringing up the fact that it's his old... I don't know why that matters. It doesn't really matter. It's his old room, and he has an axe. He's going in for the kill. And he doesn't do it because he's not actually that evil. He just can't bring himself to kill an infant. So he does something different. He grabs growth supplement things, right? He grabs that, he gives it to the duckling, and the duckling turns into a fully grown woman. And Daffy fucks her, okay? Daffy has sex with the fucking... What the fuck? Anyway, he does what he does, right? And then it cuts to a scene. It cuts to a new scene, right? And the dad walks into the dining area from the very beginning. And there's children. There's confirmation that they did absolutely fuck. Ah! That's Nasty Quacks, everybody.
Wow, didn't know you had that much to say about it. Well, why don't you talk about a number short? Hello? Hello? Oh, yeah, how could I forget? No. Some people say this is one of Clampett's greats, but I don't know, man, it's not that good. Book of You has a plot that's sort of similar to a Koi Decoy, where Daffy's a book character. Funny enough, in Koi Decoy, Daffy was portrayed as the ugly duckling on his book, but here he comes from a Looney Tunes comic. How times change. And he gets chased around by a wolf. And not just any wolf, the big, bad wolf! It's actually kind of weird how similar these two shorts are, but at least this one is better. I always forget this short has Daffy in it. I always think of it as one of those one-off Looney Tunes, even though Daffy takes up the entire second half. The jokes are good, but I mean, shit, I already seen this penetrated forest joke before, man. Also, I feel like too much goes on, where I don't even think the short knows what it's doing. It's like throwing something in the wall and seeing if it sticks. And I mean, yeah, some of it sticks for the most part. Like, it has the iconic Cucaracha scene that'll go down in history. Cucaracha! Cucaracha, 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 cucaracha. But other than that, sorry guys, couldn't get into this one. It's not going that high. I'll say it falls under the Daffy Duckaroo, but above Daffy Duck and Egghead. So yeah, it's way higher compared to a Koi Decoy, but it's still not high. However, at the very least, this was the last freaking time Warner Brothers would do the cut things come to life when the bookstore closes trope. Then Christ, because if you try to watch a bunch of Looney Tunes shorts, these ones get tedious. Wait, maybe that's why I'm not a crazy big fan of it. Oh, fuck. That's the Mario World End level sound effect. What the fuck? Now this is why I love Clampin'. I feel like with the other Clampin' shorts, they were wild and crazy, but I feel like that was a detriment. Like, it could be too crazy like Book Review, or be generic like Wise Quacking. But here it's really good. So doing overload work on the storks, other animals had to take their jobs. A couple of these animals being Porky Pig and Daffy Duck. Everything clicks here. The animation is fast and chaotic, but also smooth and nice. Daffy here looks like his Tashlin design, but still has that unique Clampin' quality to him. Also, the scene where the conveyor belt and all the babies are just really clever and funny. The egg needing the burp, the turtle having the milk in his shell, and even getting this random ass device a character for a second. God, it's so good! I also love this dog character. He seems like a Disney character on meth. He's so happy with his rocket, and when it doesn't work, he instantly goes, well, back to the old drawing board. And the fact later on in the end of the short, he gets a successful launch, it's, why can't he come back? Just call him Jackson or something. We did a whole short with him. But even though the short is good, I'm only giving him the 4th spot, mainly because Daffy does play a pretty small role, all things considered. What makes a Daffy short my favorite Daffy short meets all the checks of being well animated, being fucking funny, and being paced well, but also Daffy playing a great role in it, and sadly not in Bottleneck. Still a good short though, so I'm not gonna be at the bottom or mid tier anytime soon. Also, do people only know the short for this weird ass cut? Like, why is...
Hello there.
Wait, McKinson made this one? Too bad I wouldn't know that if the fucking blue ribbon wasn't on it! But anyways, this short is simple enough. Daffy's a menace to society, as he always is. But instead, this time around, he likes to draw mustaches on every ad paper. Even did it to Bugs, that psycho. I love how super serious it is at the beginning, and then the narrator's like, he draws mustaches. But that evil laugh, bro, being the first spoken dialogue in the short, man, it's great. I also like how Daffy looks here. You can tell he's slowly evolving into the design we know him for as time goes on. It's actually kind of freaky, but cool. A lot of people also say he also was toned down in this short. Like, he got a change of personality, but I don't see it. He's been acting the same so far in my eyes. Also, damn, Porky, he kills this guy like twice in this short. I do feel like at points it drags a little, but other than that, it's really good. Shocking how there's been like only nitpicks for these last two. Please keep the ball rolling.
Never again will I paint another mustache. I'm doing beards now.
I forgot to mention this, but actually this is like the second time, first being in Bottleneck, where Daffy says suffering succotash, which is a line more well known for Sylvester, another Lisp character.
It's like a fun fact.
But anywho, I find it kind of weird that this bumbling dumbass of a security guard can one-up Daffy in some things, and also how Daffy's really happy to see Hollywood even kissing the ground. But like, I went to Hollywood Boulevard and I saw like 4 homeless people sleeping, so yeah. Also, why is the studio called Warmer Brothers? You used the name before. In fact, you got a whole short there once. Just use the proper name. Also, hello, you work at Warner Brothers? But hey, this short's alright. It's not Daffy's greatest, but it's got some good jokes. Like one they would reuse later back in action. Yeah, I'm serious. And overall, the premise is fun. Surprised it took them so long to do this, but it's alright of a short. This should have been Babbitt and Costello, man. Fuck, man. Why is the CRA taken down? I'm still pissed off about that!
Feel them looks. What's Errol Flynn got that you haven't got? Don't answer that.
Well, Clampett did it. He got #1 spot. I'm sorry I ever judged you. I didn't mean it. Why are you drawing Bugs? You like barely did anything with him. But anyways, is anyone really shocked that this is #1? Like, Clampett really perfected a Daffy Duck short here. Literally meets all the checks. Funny jokes? Oh, hell yes. Visual gags, like how it takes a millisecond to get to the gangster's hideout. The gangster's hideout in general. Daffy, or well, Duck Twacey, petting the donkey's tail, revealing that he could see the whole time. And all the bad guys they come up with. Great animation on all the characters, especially Daffy. He's just bursting with personality and character here. Story flows so well it's butter. Daffy being the main focus also really helps. I mean, why should I even talk about it? Just watch the commentary done by John K. Yes, I'm serious. The man, the stingy, the prick, the pedo, John Grizzlefuckles! And official commentary on the short. Somehow. And hey, I also used this animation of Daffy getting his mail for the Daffy and Multiverses video. Why is the revision? Take it down! Also, why wasn't he in the game? Why wasn't he in the game? Why wasn't it? But other than that, it's iconic and seems like a no-brainer putting it at the top of the list. Sorry, Tashlin. It's your God bless director name here.
I'm gonna rub you out, see? Rub you out.
Fantastic. And furthermore, it's unbelievable. Oh.
You know, I always forget this short existed. I'm like, what is this? Like another wartime short? Wasn't the war already over? And you know, we already looked at the last one, but then I remember, wait, this is the one with the Peter Lorre character. So Daffy decides not to fly south for the winter, which is something he also does in Southern Exposure. Nice that they kept that around. He eventually meets a dog named Leopold, and at the same time, Peter Lorre. Like, no joke, it's just Peter Lorre. And he's a duck wishbone. So Daffy thinks that Leopold just wants his wishbone too, which, like, do ducks have wishbones? Oh, holy shit, they do. That's weird. Wait, does that? The ending of the short has it where Peter Lorre wants to get his... Which... This motherfucker. I honestly like the chase that happens in the second half with Daffy and Lorre. Daffy just trying to get around this mad fun house, which makes sense for Lorre to have.
Say, that's just plain old silly.
I also kind of like the touch that Daffy is not perfect in this short, unlike something like Tom Turk, where I thought he was too perfect, basically being a discount Bugs. Here, no, Daffy does mess up, like getting hit, which is cool in my opinion. However, there are a few negatives, like everything in this world. One major one is, why is Leopold a character? First of all, his design is boring as hell, and his voice is just as bad as Von Hamburger's. Oh my god, that was all the way back in 1938. Now it's 1947. Jesus. All he really does is get Daffy in the house. Also, I found this out during editing. Leopold was actually originally meant to be the Barnyard Dog. Yeah, the Barnyard Dog from the Foghorn Leghorn shorts. I don't know why they decided to change him. Like, they literally did it for no reason, because Leopold looks the exact same as Dog. Goes to show how worthless he is of a character.
I'm Leopold, remember? Some part I got in this picture. Phooey.
And being self-aware about it doesn't fix it. Also, Daffy's design, ugh. Like, I can easily tell McKimson was the wheel, because Daffy just looks like shit. We had his Tashlin design that made him super skinny, and now we have McKimson's that makes him super stubby and fat. It just looks bad. I honestly think the short could have been better if they just removed Leopold. Why instead to have it where Peter... Oh my god, it's weird not saying Lorre after that, so bear with me here. Peter Lorre still needed a duck wishbone, and he finds Daffy, still trying not to fly south for the winter. So then he decides to make Daffy his pet, which at first Daffy's happy about, but then finds out what's going on and the chase begins. Removing a pointless character and getting to the climax sooner to tell more gags would have been a lot better, but as of now, it's fine.
Missed me.
Okay, what? So this short is kind of like Daffy's Southern Exposure, but told to the point of view of the Wolf and Weasel. But instead of those two, we get fucking Yosemite Sam? Why has this setup not been used more often? I know Sam was always with Bugs during his run, but I mean, they had Daffy and Elmer team up. Why not Daffy and Sam? Like, the only time I can think of another Daffy and Sam setup was in Looney Tunes Dash, where Sam was chasing Daffy. But I'm pretty sure they did that just because Bugs had Elmer, and they also wanted to use Sam. But also, I guess the Looney Tunes show kind of counts, but not really. But anywho, so Sam and his twin brother, Mark, I don't know, are running dry on the food for the winter. I'd say the beginning of the short goes hard. Like, the skeleton mouse completely caught me off guard. That was hilarious. Also, the same mouse doing basketball with the pea is great. Well, why wasn't he in Space Jam, huh? Also, Sam's brain being an actual peanut is funny, and Daffy's reaction to the duck recipes are fucking gold. Like, somebody needs to make these reaction images. They're amazing. Also, the short is just plain good, with good slapstick throughout. Also, this is the first time ever that we would see this more streamlined, taller Daffy that Jones would popularize. Kinda interesting it was in a Freeling short. Also, another thing, I like how Daffy is just super positive here. Like, he doesn't care that he's about to die. He's still trying to sell the Sam's a product, being a cookbook, funny enough. And the fact he also gives him a turkey is cool, which then gets eaten by the mice. Those bastards. Overall, pretty decent short. Too bad Daffy and Sam never fucking teamed up after this!
What's cooking, Doc?
This one is just plain wacky and plain funny. So Daffy's a bellboy at a hotel, and this one dude needs some sleep, and if he wakes up, he'll punch Elmer's face in. So from that, you can tell what's gonna happen. The dude tries to sleep, but Daffy gets in the way, and because of that, Elmer gets socked. I know some people might not like this short because Elmer does get punished for no reason, but honestly, I don't mind it that much, mainly because what Daffy does is funny.
Yeah. Special.
Also, the characters are really well animated here. I think this is honestly my favorite Daffy design. He has a wild and insane expressions, but is also very stubby and short like how he's supposed to be. Also, holy shit, the guess's facial expressions are really good. I do actually like how at the end of the short, Elmer tries to stop Daffy, but I don't know, I feel like he should have done this at the second bop he got. Actually, speaking of that, one thing I do love is how before the guest punches Elmer, it plays Pop Goes the Weasel, and at the part of the song where it goes, Pop Goes the Weasel, it's when the guest punches Elmer. It's musical genius! I also love the title card theme, trying to sound like hotel lobby music, but then you get these wah 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 wah. Sounds like Daffy's messing with it. Honestly, really great.
Yes, sir!
We are doing this again! Oh yeah, and the ending where Elmer makes Daffy the manager, but he still gets Pop is funny. It's really going up there. I wish the mic caught that because I just like ripped complete ass, but whatever, we're gonna move on from that. I never heard of this one before. Apparently this was directed by Arthur Davis. Now I know for a fact that he directed the next short, but never knew he made two. Or free like Norman, but whatever. But anyway, Daffy takes a little trip to good old land of surprisingly no real racist jokes, as he eventually gets into a bull fight after making fun of a bull, predating Bugs by a long shot. Man, Daffy's the pioneer of very niche things. I remember actually being pretty harsh toward this short originally, saying it was paced slow and not being that funny, but I have no idea what I was drinking because I think this short is pretty dang good. I like how everyone moves in this short. It's so damn good looking, especially, yet again, in Daffy, who kind of looks like a Disney character with the way he's animated. I like it a lot. Also, this short is paced pretty well. I had no idea what I was talking about originally. The jokes have great setup and punchlines that go very hard. Like, gosh, why hasn't this short been re-released? It's so good!
Caramba, what a short day this was.
Especially that ending joke, like, Daffy is one dead duck. So while not at the tippy top, it's going pretty high up. Below wisecracking, but above my favorite duck. Wait, what? Shouldn't my favorite be above wisecracking? Guess I had a change of heart. Yeah, who cares? Our first the goat, man.
You know how bulls are. Bulls a has-been.
Don't remind me!
I missed.
Here, Butterfingers.
God damn it, Arthur! While not as good as Mexican Joyride, I still think it's a good watch. It's a very simple idea. Two people, that being Elmer and this fox, who apparently has hands, but they're gloves? What the fuck? Are both trying to get Daffy. Now, the idea of two predators going after prey, but those predators wanting to prey for themselves, have been a common thing at that time. Like Tom and Jerry does a lot, with Tom going up against an alley cat or something. But I think it's rather unique to have one of them be an actual animal predator, but the other is a hunter, being Elmer. I do find it odd that Daffy knows Elmer's name. Like, I get it, they know each other for a while, but like, in the short itself, how does he know that? Whatever. This is honestly a really good short. Really good animation, especially on Daffy, and just really good jokes throughout the whole thing. I honestly do find it funny that Daffy just keeps trying to manipulate these two into fucking hating each other. Like, he could just go deal with them one by one, but no, which I find super funny. Daffy doesn't want to see the world burn. He's the one with the gasoline.
I can get you a screen test with Warner Brothers.
Yo, what? Honestly, not crazy good, but still a good watch.
Aha! An imposter.
Hey yo, Porky's finally back after so long. Too bad disappearances by McKimson making it a fucking course. Alright, but anyway, so Porky has to get a room in a motel. And of course, that room has Daffy in it. I do think it's funny that Porky thinks that Daffy's level-headed. My guy's name is Daffy, what are you expecting? Also, Daffy has a kangaroo friend named Hammy, who is invisible, which I think is supposed to be a parody of the stage play Harvey.
How do you suppose I'm doing this?
I do find it a little funny when Daffy wakes up Porky, it's more and more violent, but like this short is really meh. Like there's not that many funny jokes here, the animation's not that crazy, and also Porky just tries to kill Daffy for no reason. Like, my man, you're gonna sleep for a long time on the noose if you do that. Also, the ending makes no sense, so Daffy wants Porky to fall off like what he did to him, but then the train comes, and Daffy goes, woohoo! Why? Like, I love seeing Daffy go, woo! But it doesn't feel earned at all. This is going down on the list for sure. It's not that good. Literally the first thing I said when the short ended was, and I quote, well, that thing sucks fucking ass. Like, for McKimpson, what are you doing to Daffy? At least with the later Jones shorts, yeah, Daffy's written the way I hate, but at least they're funny. Why the fuck is this short on Max, bro? Well, that was a poorly aged line. Alright, the plot is about how Daffy has to babysit a hatched chicken. And since Daffy ain't a family member, the chicken thinks he's a stranger. So now it's a wild goose chase of Daffy getting this chicken. Why the fuck doesn't Daffy say that he's a babysitter? Cause that's what he is. Better just say, well, I'm one of Acme's supreme babysitters. And there you go, short over. Like, why? Also, Daffy's just really boring in this short. The well-ran drive for him, he's just boring as fuck in this one. There's only like 3 jokes I found funny, being this one where Daffy goes down the elevator mat, the she loves me not bit, and the slingshot gag. But other than that, stone cold face throughout all of it. Why is Daffy getting attacked by a dog? This isn't Tom and Jerry. Also, wait, the dog is named Spike? Are you kidding me? Actually, fun fact, I did watch a few Tom and Jerry shorts that I got distracted, and all of them are way better than this one short. Seriously, McKimpson, go fuck yourself. Let someone else write an actually good Daffy short. We're going at the bottom of the list. This one sucks. At least Conrad, like, didn't piss me off, and also wasn't stupid in the way it was written, so yeah. You know, out of all characters to team up, they picked Daffy and Henry Hawk. Yeah, the Henry Hawk from the Foghorn Leghorn shorts. Probably some of you think he was a McKimpson creation, but he actually was a Chuck Jones one. Wait, does that mean— oh, thank God! Alright, so Daffy decides to disguise himself as a chicken, so he can get $5,000 for winning a contest, instead of the $5 a duck would get. Unfortunately, at the same time, Henry's trying to get a chicken, and just so happens to be Daffy. This short is really good. Way better than the last one, that's for damn sure. I love how Daffy is sort of a loon, but he's slowly becoming the Daffy Jones would finalize, entering the contest for big bucks, doing anything to gain it. And plus, he's pretty cocky here. However, when the chase is on, Daffy becomes much more of a loon, which I think is actually a good balance. He's a big ego and is greedy, but when getting attacked, his more insane side shows. Honestly, a really great short. Don't know what else to say.
Help.
Me during the making of this, I mean, have you heard my voice? Oh my God, it's so much restraint.
Mr. Chicken Hawk, sir, you're making a ghastly mistake. I'm an imposter.
I can't believe you've done that.
Wait a minute. This short feels familiar. Oh yeah! This short was used in the beginning of Daffy Duck Quackbusters. Technically, the whole plot of that film revolves around this short, which is cool. Too bad the movie sucks. Luckily, the short is good. Yet again, Jones is at the forefront. Daffy, being a gag salesman, finds out if he can make an old dog laugh, he gains $1 million. However, the butler doesn't let Daffy in the house. Yet again, Daffy is really well animated here. I love when Jones just goes wild with Daffy expressions when shocked. It's great. I do actually like the various gags showing of Daffy trying to get in, and the butler just Uno reverse cards it. Dude rips off the entire chimney. What is his deal, bro?
Hello, I'm your neighbor. Goodbye, I'll see you later. This place was not for you to look and see to get from me. Hello, you're in danger. Go live and see your behavior. You may think I'm the devil, and I wish your life's in peril. Let me spell this out for you. I'm just your neighbor. Now get out.
Eventually, Daffy does get in, and I actually like the idea of Daffy going woohoo, woohoo, from pure joy, but he can also do it from pure fear. He does it while running away. That's actually really neat, and I do love the scene where Daffy interrogates the butler for thinking he doesn't want anyone in the house so he can get the money. He probably didn't do it. I don't know. The short doesn't really deny it, and he actually does succeed in making the old dog laugh, which causes him to live longer, and Daffy now lives a job of getting pies in the face. Honestly, it's nice to see this version of Daffy, for no matter how many times he fails, he always gets back up, and eventually kinda wins. I mean, seriously, say what you want about Bugs, but you can agree that he's kind of a Gary Sue. He can get out of any situation with ease, but Daffy ain't like that. He's realistic. Honestly, good short, going up there. Also, he still suffered succotash, which, like, didn't Sylvester already exist at this time? I don't freaking know. Overall, if you haven't seen this short yet, then I totally recommend it. Even if you've seen Quackbusters, it'd be a lot better than having 50 minutes of slop attached to it. It is such an underrated gem of Jones's past. Definitely going in the top 5 as of now. It's that good. Okay, what am I? Oh, yeah. Oh, where's the granny video?
It's the living.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot to mention this, but around this time, in fact, way before then, there was a Daffy head title card, which is really cool. They would also eventually do this with Bugs too, but okay, can I say I hate this name? Like, really? The Stupor Salesman? Get it? It's like super, but it's pronounced stupid! Ah! Like, no, this is just plain stupid. But actually, the short is really good. So a criminal named Slug McSlug, well, it took them all day to come up with a name like that, is on the run. Love that his bank robbery is literally a second. That's hilarious. Why is the car so well animated? But anyway, Daffy is a salesman and is not taking no for an answer. Everything just clicks here. Daffy's a bumbling idiot. I like to see him like that. The big gags.
Oh, break your long neck.
Small gags.
Take this, wise guy.
Work really well. I don't know what it is though, but Arthur really likes having smear frames for Daffy. Like, am I the only one who sees that? Overall, this is just a plain fun short, and I recommend watching it. And I bet this is the last short Arthur did, because, you know, rules are free for these guys. God damn it!
There must be something he needs.
Holy shit, he's back! Alright, this short is really good. My god, Arthur, calm down! I mean, sure, I don't think he's my favorite, but geez, he's making some bangers. So Daffy's a homeless person trying to find some place to sleep, that being a shopping mall. However, Porky, being a cop, wants to get rid of Daffy. Now, first of all, I really like the title card. It's a remake of the original Porky and Daffy title card, but with their updated designs. It's super cool. I didn't know they did that. Also, the short is just good. The animation, the slapstick, the jokes. Did I mention animation? Because my god, is it super clean and smooth as vegetable oil. Also, did I mention jokes? Because this short has really great timing with super hard-hitting punchlines.
How did you get in, gangbuster? With this.
Also, the ending of the short is odd. Porky corners Daffy, and Daffy decides to go quietly. However, he manipulates Porky by faking having kids again, using duck toys this time around. Porky lets Daffy stay, and he talks about how hard it is to be a father, revealing he has toy kids himself. What? Jeez, kind of a hypocrite for making fun of Daffy and a koi decoy, fatso. But anyways, I just love seeing Daffy goof off. I don't really have that much to say. It's just a really good short with creative jokes. Why do they sound completely different?
Citizens aren't supposed to have guns.
Admins aren't supposed to suck dicks.
This short! Whoa! So Daffy convinces Elmer not to kill him, instead being his slave. Yes, I'm serious. Throughout the whole short, Daffy is referred to as a slave, which is fucking cuckoo bananas. There are some pretty good jokes, though, in this one. I love how they use Hungarian Rhapsody number 2 during Daffy eating food. That's cool. They do the skin and bones gag from a koi decoy, which, oh my god, that was so long ago, but it isn't as funny because it doesn't go that hard, and it needs to be more exaggerated. Also, the short just randomly ends, like, what? With a joke from a Bugs Bunny short where Bugs was in blackface, which Daffy isn't because he's... Oh my god, even though it's really fucking on the tip of being a racist short, there are still some funny moments. It's not gonna be that low, but also not that high either.
Coming in on a wing and a prayer.
Bro, why is this in such shit quality? But anyway, so it's Thanksgiving, and these hillbillies with annoying sounding voices got a turkey. Daffy finds out that the turkey is named Thomas. Yeah, for some reason Daffy just knows his name despite the fact they never met, but fuck me, I guess. So Daffy makes Tom work out to lose weight, while at the same time Daffy eats all of his food instead. I don't know, man, unless you find Daffy inflation sexy, you're not really gonna get anything from the short. One thing I don't understand at all is when Daffy's being chased by the hillbilly because they decide to eat Daffy instead of Tom. Tom decides tries to fuck with Daffy by violently putting him through stuff, aka hiding in the stuff he went through, and eventually leading him to the oven. Why? First of all, Tom Turk did the exact same thing, which, geez, if I had a nickel for every time Daffy would be fucked by a turkey named Tom, I had 2 nickels, but at least Tom Turk had a reason to do that to Daffy. Daffy literally told Porky where he was. He was going to die. Daffy does the exact opposite here. He makes Thomas skinny, yeah, so he doesn't get eaten. Yeah, sure, Daffy ate all of his food, that kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, Thomas is safe, you fucking maniac! Definitely going low on the list. At least Tom Turk and Daffy had a fun chase between Daffy and Porky.
Yeah, but it's a shame you can't eat duck on Thanksgiving.
Oh my god, a McKibson short that's actually good? I don't really know what this is supposed to be. Like, judging by the title, it seems like a semi-sequel to Porky's Duck Hunt, but no, it does its own thing. It's not even an anniversary title, it wasn't released on the same day, and yes, I know it's a play on the word Daffy Duck Hunt, but still. So Porky, and I think his last hunter role, at least for the Daffies, has the Barnyard Dog as his pet? Alright, it's so weird seeing all these Daffy shorts sometimes have these very minor Looney Tunes characters like Henry Hawk and now fucking Barnyard Dog? Yes, that's his official name. Now we need his Foghorn Leghorn, but anywho. I think this short is honestly really good. Probably the best McKibson Daffy short so far. I love how Daffy's a little snow duck when in the freezer, and the fact that the freezer is just winter hellscape is hilarious. What I think is a little weird is that even though Porky puts Daffy in the freezer, Dog wants to kill Daffy, but like, he's already dying in the freezer. Bro's gonna catch every stage of hypothermia. I think it's a pride thing for him, but oh well. I do love the ending where Daffy, Porky, and the dog sing Jingle Bells, only for Porky to realize it's April with a 31st on it, okay? However, Porky can't kill Daffy because he has to wait till Christmas. Now that's funny. Definitely going up there way higher than the other McKibson shorts.
What's this all about, you big... Don't shush me!
Yo, Dog is a Christian? Man, wish there was a website with all these Daffy shorts at a high quality just so the fucking quality doesn't flip-flop all the time. But bitching aside, this plot is very simple. Porky goes camping, Daffy ducks with him, wait, what, duck? And Porky turns Daffy into a motor. That's it. It's really simple, but it's got some funny moments. In fact, some really funny moments out of context.
Parts. Oh, executioner! Executioner!
But overall, the short is so simple, I got nothing really to say about it. Wonder who directed... McKibson! Okay, McKibson! Did you hear me talking mad shit somehow and decided to step up the quality? Because I'm liking it so far! Keep the ball rolling! Of course, when I get to the next McKibson short, it's gonna suck ass because I jinxed it! Oh well! You know, I always thought this short came way later, talking after the Hunting trilogy, where Daffy's character would change for the worse. However, no, this was made in 1950, and funny enough, Daffy's characterization does line up with the previous Jones shorts, so I think that's cool. So I'm pretty sure most people know the plot of this short, because it's one of the most well-known Looney Tunes, but for those who haven't, Daffy is sick of always doing comedy, so he tells Jelly, the Jelly? The studio head about a story where he's the hero, the Scarlet Pumpernickel, a parody on the Scarlet Pimpernel. Funny fact, actually, the Disney character Darkwing Duck's design was actually semi-inspired by Daffy's outfit in this short. And funny enough, the DuckTales reboot, one of the characters is reading the Scarlet Pimpernel, which funny enough looks like Darkwing Duck. I don't know, I just think that's a funny full circle. The short is honestly really fracking good. I love the idea of a more dramatic and action medieval Looney Tunes film. However, don't be feared because there is still comedy here. At first, I wonder why Daffy would include his character sometimes getting the crap beaten out of him. I mean, I had a fun fan theory that Daffy knew the studio probably wouldn't do it unless he included slapstick, but looking back on it, I did say earlier that Daffy wasn't the fully egotistical character we will sadly know yet, so shut up, me. I love all these random Looney Tunes characters chilling in this short. Makes it feel more like an actual film that could be made.
Oh, Mr. Nobleman,
You honor my humble...
That's not our freak you, Brian! Also, love the fact that Sylvester is the villain of the short. I feel like Daffy just did that out of pettiness because he realized there was another character with a lisp. And the fact Daffy doesn't know how to end the film just makes the apocalypse happen. It's great. Honestly, I know it does work in a 7 minutes, but I would love to see a whole Scarlet Pumpernickel movie. Just release it on Max or something and call it, I don't know, Scarlet Pumpernickel, Daffy's Full Vision or something.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
I mean, with the amount of times they bring back Duck Dodgers, it would be cool to see the Scarlet Pumpernickel at least one more time. Overall, going up there, this is a really fun short. What's up, Doc? This short is pretty mediocre. So Daffy marries a thought and has to... So Daffy marries a thought and has to do all the housework, plus basically raising her son in Waxford. The fuck kind of name is that? But really, this short is honestly fine, I think. I don't really like the idea of the short just having Daffy be tortured by an awful wife. Why you gotta do this to him? But really, other than that, it's whatever. There are some funny jokes here. I do like, however, at the end of this short, there's this little detail on Daffy where all his feathers are ruffled out because of all the stress. It reminds me of Duck Rabbit Duck when that happened to him. But really, you could skip this one. I have nothing really special to say about it. Why is he so skinny? Alright, so you're telling me there's a short where Daffy and mother freaking Rocky interact? Yeah, Roxy and Muggsy. These two gangsters Bugs usually went up against. But I guess this time around Rocky had a fallout with Muggsy, so unfortunately he's absent. But anywho, the plot, Porky has a chicken who lays a golden egg. However, that said chicken says it was Daffy who did it instead. This gets the attention of Rocky and his gangsters to go and take Daffy, who now has to lay a golden egg or else he'll die. I love how Porky doesn't want to sell the egg, so the gangsters just beat the shit out of him. However, still give him some money. It's great. Honestly, this short works. I like the interaction between Daffy and Rocky. Too bad they never got to do it again. Also, I don't know why, but I love the rings around Daffy's eyes. They would later do this a ton in the Looney Tunes show. It's just a great detail. And it reminds me a lot of Pizza Tower, okay? I love pizza. Also, the fact that Daffy does lay a golden egg and then finds out he has to fill a ton of crates of eggs is really funny. But if I do remember correctly, there was actually a Looney Tunes package film that we actually do get to see Daffy do it, which is hilarious. Not the greatest, but it's alright. Alright, this is my new favorite short. Yeah, you got B-clamping. Once you thought you were the best director in the house, then someone came along and beat you by a landslide. Story of my life. The short is very simple. Porky gets fucked by Daffy on a radio show. However, unlike Boobs in the Woods, they really went hard with the slapstick. Daffy is such a douche in this short. It's basically just nothing but non-stop Porky torture. It's so funny. I mean, you know your shorts are great when you open with Porky about to die. But yeah, speaking of which, the animation is really freaking good. The people who animate the Tashlin and Davis shorts animate this because Daffy just pops here so much with his expressions and dynamic. It's eye candy, really. It's amazing how violent it gets.
Or else, in Montana, Arizona, New Jersey, aren't we gruesome?
And the crazy twist where Porky now becomes Daffy's boss is really rewarding to see. He honestly deserves it. Top of the list. It takes a simple concept, but pushes it so far that it breaks. But in a good way. Honestly, I don't think nothing can top this short. Right? Right?
You'll be sorry!
Yep, folks. We're finally here. The first of the Hunting Trilogy. This is when Daffy gets his character rewrite. Instead of being a madcap screwball, he's now an egotistical rival to Bugs. Now, granted, I don't think Daffy is at his worst in this short, but it definitely will get worse as time goes on. But anywho, this is probably the most well-known of the Hunting Trilogy shorts. And now that I realize it, I don't think people know what I'm talking about when I talk about the Hunting Trilogy, so for those people who don't. So, for the span of 3 years in 1951, 1952, and 53, Jones would make 3 shorts that have a very similar premise behind them. Elmer tries to hunt for Bugs, because Daffy tricks him into doing so. Bugs tricks Daffy, or convinces Elmer to shoot Daffy. His beat comes off in a comedic fashion, rinse, repeat. And honestly, I'm sorry, it's just, I don't like these shorts like other people do. Granted, I do think Rabbit Fire is possibly the best out of the 3, even though I really don't like how Daffy is characterized. He just don't bring some funny laugh.
No more blips? Here, let me see that thing.
But however, unfortunately, or well, fortunately, I don't really know, Bugs is the one bringing the big laughs here. And can I just say, we've been through this whole video for so long, seeing Daffy evolve, but right when we finally see Bugs, he's fully characterized. Okay, yes, I know he appeared in Corny Contrianto, but Bugs and Daffy don't interact, so fuck it. Honestly, I kinda like how Daffy is just mildly irritated when getting shot in the face. He acts like that best friend that's a moron and can get pissed off easily. However, you're still friends with him because it's easy to make fun of him. Wait, this is just Bugs and Daffy's dynamic from the Looney Tunes show. The biggest problem, though, is Daffy himself. I just don't like this version of the character. Okay, I do like the idea of him fucking up and getting shot, but the fact Bugs is there, too, who can easily get out of a situation, even dodges a shot, kinda low-key makes me mad. I feel like halfway through the short, where Bugs and Daffy start teaming up a little to get back at Elmer, I feel like that should have been the short. Have it where it's hunting season, and at first Daffy tries to convince Elmer to shoot Bugs. However, eventually he realizes he's also fucked, because, I don't know, it's a all-you-can-shoot day or something, so he and Bugs are forced to team up. Then at the end, when the event is over or something, Daffy goes back to being a douche. I don't know, I feel like that I've been rambling for too long, so overall, that's one of the best endings from a Looney Tunes short.
Shh, be very, very quiet. We're hunting Elmer's. Ha ha ha!
Alright, now we're back to the shorts actually being really fucking funny. Similar to Scarlet Pumpernickel, I'm shocked this version of Daffy never really gets brought back like I wish he would. Alright, so the short is pretty simple. Daffy with his comedic relief Porky comes into town as the new sheriff, which the town is going under a lot of problems. Love that the horses are going at it in the action, and it's great. And eventually Daffy stumbles into a bar and meets the villain, Nasty Canasta. I think that's how you say it. Which eventually Porky easily beats. Honestly, really love how Daffy is characterized. Very ironic since this is another Jones short, and we just saw Rabbit Fire, but I think his more egotistical side doesn't come out as much. Only really at the end, which makes more sense. He acts more like a tough guy, but is really just a bumbling dumbass, and I love it. The jokes here are so out of left field that they're hilarious.
Hankering for trouble, eh? Well, I would like a trip to Europe.
However, there are some minor problems. I think the pacing is a little slow, and I feel like what makes a good short is the back-to-back comedy. That's why the Duck Series is #1 so far. It basically keeps ramping the comedy and keeps whamming you with it. However, this short's not bad at all. It's super funny, and I recommend to anyone if you, surprisingly enough, haven't seen it. I know this short, thanks to Quackbusters again, but for a different reason. I know this is kind of weird to start off this entry like this, but hear me out. So in Quackbusters, they reused mainly the ending scene. However, Quackbusters was like the last time Mel Blanc would voice Daffy and Porky and most of the other Looney Tunes, and you could tell with flying colors when the new animation stops and the old animation begins.
Oh, and one more thing. Anyone that works with me should never get me riled. Why not? Because I'm a split personality.
Like, my god, were they even trying? But the actual short itself, Porky somehow wins Daffy. It's never explained well, in my opinion. However, Daffy gets on Porky's nerves and kicks him out. Which, granted, he's kind of justified. Bro immediately starts throwing away Porky's shit when he enters the house. However, Daffy decides to put on the Jekyll and Hyde routine. Basically, if Porky ticks him off, he turns into a monster. I kind of feel bad for Porky some of the time, because my man is trying to make Daffy happy but fucks it up in every way he can. The animation for the short is also I mean, Porky looks okay in those shots. He kind of looks like Jones's, but Daffy, ooh no, tries to look like Tashlin's design but falls flat on his face. Literally, I don't like how his beak looks in some shots. It looks so bad. However, I do like when he puts on the Hyde persona. He really does look deranged and monstrous. I mean, in World of Mayhem, we already have Hyde Tweety, Hyde Sylvester, and even Hyde Bugs from the ending scene in that one short, with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde from that one short. But where the fuck is my Hyde Daffy, Scopely? But to be honest, the whole Jekyll and Hyde skit does get kind of boring after a while in this short. I feel like the other shorts just did it a lot better in my opinion. It's definitely not going high on the list. Damn, Porky, when you had skeletons in your closet, I didn't know you mean it literally. Like, why is there a skeleton in the closet? What the fuck? God damn it, not another McKimson. Expect a plot that makes no sense. So Daffy decides not to fly south for the winter, but instead hitchhike. Even though I think it would be significantly easier just to fly instead of trying hours on end to find a car and hope the person doesn't want to kill or rape you. But that's neither here nor there. This short is just kind of mid, like most McKimson shorts. I mean, there are some funny jokes in here.
Trouble, smubble. I'll take care of this little joker. All right, Junior, come on out of there.
But like nothing that would make me burst out laughing or anything. My god, these shorts are sucking the life out of me. I blame McKimson!
He only fined me at $2. $2? Why, that's an outrage. You wait right here. I'll fix it. I'll slap him with a habeas corpus. What? Oh, it looks like you'll have to cough up another $50.
Okay, the name Crack Quack is honestly hilarious. This sounds more like a Breaking Bad parody than anything else. But no, the short is not about Daffy snorting a fat one. Instead, it's about how Daffy decides to pretend to be a stuffed duck, so he can stay in a house all winter. That house being Porky's, and he has a dog who finds out that Daffy is faking it through a fly? Okay, honestly though, can I say, I think Porky looks fire in a pink jacket. I know that's completely off topic, but I don't know what it is. He just looks really nice in one, even more compared to his blue one. But I don't know what it is. The short's not funny, it's so mid, and there's not really a joke that goes super hard. And yes, I know probably a lot of people are gonna be like, well, not every Looney Tunes short has to be balls to the walls funny. And, bro, have you been watching nothing but the 50s Mickey Mouse shorts your whole life? That's kind of the goal of a Looney Tunes short. Also, I just realized this is the 1950s now. Oh my god. Is the downfall beginning? Well, I mean, not exactly, but basically this short's not that good. I really don't recommend it unless you like seeing Porky in a pink vest. And also, I'm sorry, but I don't like all the other ducks looking like Daffy. I'll say it once and I'll say it again, darn it. There's no other duck like me, because I am so Daffy, and so gosh darn wrist wrapping, and so screwy and laughy. I can keep going. This is just a worse version of Rapid Fire. Even though I do like most of the reactions from Daffy in the short, it honestly just feels like a poor man's version. It feels slower, the animation is not as good, and also the fact that Daffy acts more like Donald compared to Daffy. See, that's the major problem I have with Daffy in these shorts. He acts too much like Donald. Ooh, yeah, keep that in. Where I feel like Jones would rather work on a Donald short for Disney rather than an actual Daffy short. Like, granted, I thought he was fine in Rapid Fire, but oh my god, here's so obvious, it's sickening. Now, another thing is, as well, is why is Daffy even here? He basically shouts at Elmer to shoot Bugs most of the time in the short, and also ruins Bugs' tricks, which, I mean, granted, I would have loved to see more of. Why not have a short where Daffy keeps fucking with Bugs when he's trying to just get away from Elmer? I mean, sure, that does sound similar to Ain't That Ducky, but still, it would have been better than Diet Rapid Fire. Also, can I say, I hate how "You're despicable" became one of Daffy's well-known catchphrases for a while. It's not even that good, guys. Like, what about woohoo? I mean, you remember woohoo, right? Right? Overall, probably going somewhere near Rapid Fire, but below it, obviously.
Very funny.
This short be weird as hell, man! So Daffy's a private eye detective named Duck Drake, and he has to solve a crime done by, my god, this duck looks fucking ugly! Basically, Daffy goes and describes the actions of the female duck, but also acts them out himself. Slapstick ensues. Even though this is a very generic premise, and also the character designs look god-awful, the jokes they tell are so fucking stupid they wrap around to being funny again.
Strange goings on out there? Like what, for instance?
Like, listen.
I decided I'd better hop out there.
Walk this way, sir.
Uh-oh, she's got that old ball and chain look in her eye.
Like, I don't know how McKimson made an actually decently funny Daffy short, but he did it. Not going at the top of the list, but definitely not going at the bottom either. You can kind of tell I forgot where, like, specific rankings are. It's below Daffy Duck and Egghead. Stop making these fucking shorts, McKimson! I swear to God, it feels like only in the 50s so far, it's McKimson with occasionally Jones checking in, and if you're lucky, Freeling. Okay, well, yeah, I know that was based on the lineup of the Looney Tunes directors at the time, but shut up. This short just sucks, okay? I felt no emotion while watching it. Basically, the short has it where Daffy is an insurance sales duck and tries to have Porky have an accident in his home. Another main selling point that catches Porky's attention is the fact he can get $1 million from a black eye if he does have an accident from his home. However, it's from a ridiculous condition. But still, Porky turns it down, so Daffy has to convince him by making him have an accident. Of course, backfiring on Daffy. This short is so fucking predictable, it's not funny at all. Daffy also looks fucking ugly here. His eyes are too small and his beak is too fat looking. It's just unappealing. Going at the bottom. Fuck McKimson, bro. What's the next short, okay? Is that another McKimson? Oh, mom! This is number 2. Wait, what? Okay, I might as well get it out of the way. Even though the short is iconic, I still find Ducksters way funnier. But that does not mean the short is not awesome. Can you blame me for saying that? It's not only the most popular and well-known Daffy short, it's quite literally one of, if not the most well-known and popular Looney Tunes short ever. Only behind maybe What's Opera Doc. Do I really need to explain this short? You probably know about it, but for those sad, sad souls, the idea is simple. I love how it starts with a bait and switch. It looks like a short that would be something like the Scarlet Pumpernickel, as Daffy is a musketeer, but then the background. Where's the background? You might think at first the animator's messed up until you realize Daffy acknowledges it himself. That's when you realize this short is self-aware. And now you're just going on a madhouse duck chase, a Daffy trying to put on a short, but an anonymous animator keeps messing with him throughout the whole short. Jones said he really wanted to experiment with how far they could push Daffy, have it where it's just him in a short, have it where the scenario constantly changes, have the camera zoom in, him dealing with a clone, and not even making him a duck at all, but instead this flower screwball flag monster motherfucker. And on top of that, it's really funny. All the jokes click, because their timing is perfect, and use the idea of an animator just fucking around with a cartoon to its fullest extent. And the cherry on top is at the end, where it's revealed that the animator was Bugs himself. Triple S tier short. Like, there's a reason for Warner Brothers always going back to this one, and there's a reason why Jones will later do this concept again, but with Bugs instead. Too bad that version is worse. Now, yes, like I said at the start, it's not funnier than Duckster, but that does not mean it's a bad short. God, no. It's amazing, so it's a very, very close second.
Listen, my little man is staying strong and cinnamon.
Jeez, and I thought the girl duck from Super Snooper looked ugly. Holy jeez, what the fuck is that? Now, so Daffy has this alien duck as a girl. However, he gets cucked by the big duck, who has the most not fitting voice for his body, but at the same time, it's hilarious.
Look, friend, if you all don't stop flapping that big yap of yours, I'm gonna have to knock your head so far down between your little old shoulders, you'll have to unbutton your vest to eat.
Now, buddy, if you won't stop yapping your big fat bill, I'm gonna pound your head so far down your ass, you're gonna be shitting your teeth. Eventually, Daffy does drink this thing from a scam duck, and he thinks he can go up against the buff guy. It's pretty run-of-the-mill jokes. The buff guy does something, and Daffy wins the girl back because the dude dies. I don't know. I didn't finish this segment, so it goes to show how much I liked it. Alright, so this is weirding me out. During the 50s, we've been getting nothing but the lowest of the low for McKimson, but the highest of the high for Jones, outside of a couple of stinkers he has dropped. But we've been getting fed well. Pumpernickel, Ducksters, Dribble Along Daffy, Duck Amuck, and this one by far Daffy's most iconic persona, Duck Dodgers. Do I really need to explain this one? Because almost everyone knows the plot like Duck Amuck. But for those sad souls, yet again, the plot focuses on Daffy as Duck Dodgers, a parody on Buck Rogers, and Porky as the eager young space cadet, and trying to go and claim Planet X. However, the little Martian fella, Antwerp, comes in and eventually they duke it out. Granted, I'm shocked once they get to Planet X, the short doesn't have enough time to dish out a ton of jokes. However, the jokes they do dish out are really funny. Stuff like the disintegrating pistol, Porky blowing up Antwerp, and the ultimatum pistol gags are really well put together. I love how flashy yet bumbling Daffy is here in his persona. It's just a really fun thing to watch. And if you haven't seen this short yet, then what the hell are you doing here? Go! Go, 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 go!
I mean, the short is iconic, so maybe someone has a different opinion than mine. I mean, oh God, I gotta do it again. God damn son. Oh, I thought I was on the right number. Cool. So, Don't hang up! So, Toad the Jimmy, tell me, what's your overall opinions on Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century? No, I don't want bread or coke!
Hey y'all, Owen here, also known as Jimmy Toeman. You might know me behind that one video about the show of the kid, but this time, today I'm going to be talking about the show of the duck. Specifically, my friend Isaac asked me to cover Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. This was picked randomly, but he said it was good, and I thought it was also pretty good. The beginning was sort of plain, except for the bit where he reverses into Rocket, which was a little funny. But once the two of them, the titular Duck Dodgers and Antwerp, reach Planet X, the cartoon becomes exceptionally funnier. The bits of the disintegrating and integrating was funny, and my favorite part was the ultimatums. The payoff for this planet isn't big enough for the two of us was also pretty good. I'd give it about a 7, leaning towards a 7.5 out of 10. And yeah, I mean, nothing really else to say. But when's the Oblitus Cast review again?
Alright, thanks for chatting with me, man. Oh, hey, I see a button on here called a flash. I wonder what it does. I gotta get rid of the evidence. And this time, folks, I won't miss.
This one always felt like the Mario 2 of the Haunting Trilogy, the absolute black sheep. Not only does it take place in the winter instead of the fall, the name is also different, not using a rabbit pun. Granted, I do actually like the name of the short, possibly pairing the whole duck season, rabbit season from the first short. But anyways, this one is... outside of having some iconic Daffy reaction shots, this one is okay. There's just some things I'm not a fan of. I think the Daffy abuse is pushed a level too far. It seems laughably pathetic. I'm not really one to use terms like Squidward torture porn episode, or say the slapstick should be toned down because it's fucking Looney Tunes. Also, I know Daffy was the one who starts the conflict, but god damn it, man, I just don't like seeing him like this. I mean, the other two, Daffy just looked mildly upset that Elmer shot him. Here he looks destroyed, physically and mentally. And like, Daffy's not the type to be pushed over the edge and snap in a short. He already snapped and is just running like a fucking maniac.
I really do miss the Daffy from something like Porky's Last Stand or Porky and Daffy. I really do.
What have I done? Where did I take the wrong turning?
I'm asking the same question.
I didn't feel bad for Elmer. Bro was just trying to figure out what the season is, yet completely gets shit-faced. Also, the dynamic between Elmer and Daffy is just weird. Granted, this time around, Bugs is not really convincing Elmer's duck season, so he doesn't really have that excuse to go after him. But like in the others, Daffy mainly just try to push Elmer in the direction he wants him to, only Bugs to smack that right out of him. And eventually Elmer would just get fed up and shoot both of them. But here, Daffy acts like a mentor. It's weird as hell. Definitely the lowest out of the Hunting Trilogy shorts. At least Rabbit Seasoning, I didn't feel bad for Daffy. And also by far the weakest Jones Daffy short. You know, minus Conrad. At least with this one, there are funny moments.
Well, I guess I'm the goat. You're a dirty dog. And you are a jackass.
Fuck this watermark! Alright, I'll admit, McKimson, you made a pretty funny short. Not outstanding, but it's alright. I always wondered why McKimson was obsessed with Daffy being a salesman. Most of the McKimson shorts have him be a salesman. I guess it makes sense for Daffy's more crazier personality, or at least trying to be crazier personality in the McKimson shorts, rather than the more flamboyant asshole he is in the Jones, and then the other one in the Freeling shorts. But the idea of the short is simple. Daffy is a salesman, showing Elmer all these new things to add to his house. They do rush the fuck out of the beginning, though, which is a little bit of a turnoff, but I think it was only done to get the jokes quicker, so you have that going for you, McKimson. Granted, the jokes they tell are pretty good, shockingly going higher than like 32 or something. Alright, McKimson, you can have that, but what's the next short? Because I'll bet it's McKimson again. Oh no! No!
Well, let's try this.
Fuck this watermark too! Also, this is hands down the worst Daffy short, possibly pre-1960s. Who knows? Like, holy shit! What were they smoking when coming up with this short? So the plot is Elmer is duck hunting, but Daffy says if he shoots another duck, he'll be sorry. Which does lead to a decently funny joke where Elmer immediately shoots Daffy. But this leads to possibly the most baffling decision. Daffy goes after Elmer, but fails. Like, full-blown. Either his vengeance don't work or backfire on him like Wile E. Coyote, or fucking Elmer gets the upper hand. How in the fuck does Elmer Fudd, out of all people, trick Daffy? Elmer's like 10 times dumber than him. But the main problem is, Daffy is 100% in the right to go after Elmer. This isn't like Ducksters, where he's unfairly treating someone and gets a taste of his own medicine. No, Elmer is killing his own kind. It makes sense that he wanted to do this. I feel like they wanted to just have Daffy's tricks backfire, but if they wanted to do that, don't make me actually mad that my boy is losing. If Daffy was fucking with Elmer for no reason, or had a very lame excuse, then sure, I guess it'd make more sense, but here, no! I was expecting Elmer to kill Daffy at the end like a dinosaur. Bottom of the list. Wait, in this short, Daffy does the woohoo? He does the woohoo again? You know what? Scratch that. No other Daffy short can top this one. Top of the list, baby! Not! This short is weird, man. I was expecting a kind of rip-off of Drip Along Daffy, which would have been ironic because Jones directed that short too, but no. Even though some elements are the same, like the main villain being the same and Daffy having Porky as the comedic relief, these two are completely different beasts, and unfortunately this one is worse. Daffy is the Mask Avenger, probably a parody on the Lone Ranger, trying to tussle with Nasty Canasta again. However, I don't know what it is. I don't find this one as funny as Drip Along. Some of the jokes do land.
Let's get on with it. There's yours, and here's mine. Come on, put up your dukes.
However, some of them are drawn out, like when Daffy first meets Canasta. Like, why does he have to, why is it so long? Granted, though, the jokes ain't that bad, so it's alright. So probably gonna be, like, right smack in the middle of the list if it's an even number, or if it's odd. Well, this joke is not even funny, bro. Why did I include this in the...
I told you I'd fix this little red wagon. You should have seen it. The wheels were busted. The axle was all bent, and it needed a new coat of paint. To me, I'm Super Guy. Oh my God!
Okay, so, oh my god, I am running out of steam from these shorts. So this is a parody on Jack and the Beanstalk with Daffy being Jack. Ah, yes, Elmer is the giant and Bugs is also there because Daffy threw the beans into his hole for some reason. At the beginning, the short is self-aware, like it knows it's doing a parody, but that gets dropped pretty quickly when Elmer captures both of them. Honestly, I do like Bugs and Daffy trying to team up to take on the giant Elmer. Like I stated, or maybe I said, it's sweet to see these two interact because Senator Cord, they are the same, despite Daffy and this era would tell you otherwise. Honestly, it's not that funny of a short, but it's alright for the most part. Don't know why the quality is so shit when I try to find this bloody short. Thank God, apparently the short is getting a full-blown remaster on Blu-ray so people can finally see this 6 out of 10 short.
No way.
I was not actually expecting this short to be good, even though the start is very slow in my opinion. So basically, after delivering a ton of babies, getting drunk as shit, the story has one more baby, being the Daffys. Yeah, Daffys, as in 2, because in this one short, Daffy is shown having a wife, and for some reason living in a fancy house. It's honestly pretty funny to see that Daffy has a wife, but she's only in like one scene, and she's quite literally just Daffy with eyelashes and a bow, and people say Minnie looks similar to Mickey. But of course, Daffy doesn't want the stork to visit, and sets up traps to get rid of him. Granted, it kind of feels odd seeing Daffy as the villain in the short. He feels kind of out of character. I mean, I'm just saying Daffy should have been the stork instead, but hey, you know, the short got some laughs out of me, so that's better than most of the shorts we cover so far. Also, seeing the drunk-ass stork is also funny because, you know, it's a drunk-ass stork. Going above the last one, but going below Porky's Duck Hunt. Hey, I brought back the thing I did. Okay, I know this is going to be much more work on my end, but I can't stop thinking about these two things related to this short, okay? So welcome to improv time, bitch! So, when like, the egg hatches and it reveals the baby stork, what does that mean? Because, like, the stork delivers the egg to the Daffys. Does that mean Daffy's wife was being unfaithful? I mean, I guess Daffy doesn't care because he's so blinded by revenge, but like, dang, Daffy's wife was a thought. And the second thing as well is, when Daffy's wife mentions that the stork is coming, Daffy states, it's that stork again.
Oh, it's that stork stork again.
Meaning that he's been through this multiple times. So Daffy has been having the wildest way to have an abortion. What the fuck? Alright, first of all, I might as well clear something up for people that are confused, because on Daffy's filmography on Wikipedia, the short Sarah Hair is listed as a Daffy short. Kind of, even though it's listed as a Bug short. Now, unlike Beanstalk Bunny or The Hunting Trilogy, this is just a Bug short. Daffy only makes a cameo at the end, and like I stated in the intro, cameos in very, very minor roles don't count. So getting into this one, can I say though, the title really got me intrigued. This is a life? Woulda never knew what came from this short, but I was really disappointed when I actually watched it. This is really just a Bugs clip show short, which, yeah, that sucks. And Daffy doesn't play a big role, only getting blown up at the end. This is really just a Bug short with Daffy. And unlike Beanstalk of the Hunting Trilogy, well, wait a fucking minute, it's like the short I didn't review, Sarah Hair. So, bottom of the list for wasting my fucking time. You know, no, we're not gonna rank you, Freeling. Wait, Freeling? Oh, he also made Stork Naked as well, and even Sarah Hair. Dang, finally he decided to show up too, only for 1 out of 3 shorts to be good. Moving on! Okay, post-scripting Isaac here, I take back my saying I'm not ranking it, just don't expect it to be high on the list. So there's that. I can't tell you its exact placement because it would spoil the other placements for the future shorts, but move on! Honestly, this short does have a funny concept behind it, however, does not work as a 7-minute long short. So the idea of the short is that Porky rents a room from a hotel owned by Daffy, with each night costing 10 cents. However, Daffy sends a mouse to the room, and Porky wants the mouse gone. Daffy comes in with a cat, but he has to pay up for the cat, eventually causing problems, and Porky now has to get a dog, then a lion, then an elephant, and then funny enough, back to the mouse again, each costing more and more money. Honestly, a genius scam for Daffy to do, but this gets old real fucking quick, mainly because it's the same thing every time. This works more like a C-plot to the Looney Tunes show, rather than a whole short. But hey, I mean, Daffy still made all that kind of money. Not going that high, the plot just drags, and also Porky just sounds weird in this short. He sounds too high-pitched for my liking, too.
Only 10 cents a day for this swell room.
So, great. Now we need his Foghorn Leghorn, but anywho. Dude, I was kidding! Yeah, not only do we have a Daffy interacting with Henry Hawk, not only Daffy interacting with Dog, but also Daffy interacting with Foghorn? Granted, even though this short has similar problems to This Is a Life and You Ought to Be in Pictures, but the short itself does not feel like a Daffy short. This one is heavily being a Foghorn one with Daffy just in it. However, unlike You Ought to Be in Pictures, where Porky was the focus, which, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't find Porky all that interesting in the Golden Era, and This Is a Life, literally just being Bugs Bunny clip show with Daffy there for no reason. This one, I actually really like Foghorn Leghorn. He's just the pinnacle of a lovable douchebag who gets karma from his antics too, so that's all the more rewarding. So primarily, like most Foghorn shorts, him and the dog are at war. Funny little fact actually, apparently the dog was the one who started the war with them, which is so odd, you never expect that. But anyways, Daffy basically just sells both them products to get at each other. I honestly do like the slapstick here, but I feel like Daffy's interaction with Foghorn are kind of bland. But then again, I've seen the Looney Tunes show before this, and that has downright peak interactions between Foghorn and Daffy, so I think I'm just spoiled.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
But granted, I find it kind of funny that Daffy decided to be a dumbass and sell both Foghorn and the dog with the same product. Like, do you know what would happen? Granted, I really like this short. It's simply not going high, though, because, like I said, what makes a great Daffy short is having Daffy be the main character. But yeah, I still like this one. Honestly, wish they bring this concept back. It'd be really cool. Damn, brother, this short be slow! This short weirds me out a lot. So apparently it's a parody on a show named Dragnet, and basically Daffy and Porky are detectives in space, where they try to arrest a guy, and then they get sent to jail for false arrest. Okay, this short is so bland. I think the visuals look pretty decent, but then again, it just kind of feels like the set from Duck Dodgers, which ironically enough, a scene from Duck Dodgers is reused. Daffy's just so boring in this short. I think Jones wanted them to be like this straight man or something, like no funny business detective in this weird world, which like, do you not know what the fuck Daffy Daffy means? I mean, the other Jones shorts where Daffy was parroting something or had Porky along with him, like, sure, he's not going, woo, 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 but at least he's very hammy and dumb, so it works. But here it doesn't. He doesn't even get a single laugh out of me. In fact, Porky is the one who gets most of the laughs. And whoever thought of making Porky funnier than Daffy in the short should be fired immediately. Also, why do they walk like Marvin the Martian? This is definitely going around the bottom of the list. It's not funny, it feels too slow. Fucking Walt Disney shorts were funnier than this.
Oh, the sun. It's so hot, I'm gonna die. Oh, what I do to crave for a sunny side up. Oh, I know just the call. Yeah, hello? Sonny, I was wondering, what are your opinions on the 1950s Daffy Duck short, Rocket Squad?
Porky and Daffy Rocket Squad, a short story from 1956. It follows the two main characters, Monday, who is Daffy, and Tuesday, Porky. They take this knockoff Rick and Morty spaceship, flying it around for no particular reason in the beginning of the video, only to get a call from their boss and chief of their version of the criminal justice system. He says the flying saucer bandit strikes again at the National Bank of Jupiter. They go back to the headquarters, and we get a cameo from the Eye of Cthulhu watching over them as they head up to the offices. Once they arrive at the office, Monday sits waiting for a call from the chief who's right in front of him. Not only that, but he's impatient as hell too. He complains for a solid minute the entire time he waits for this call. Of course, the chief begs Monday to find out who the bandit is, crying all over him. Monday does the equivalent of, I guess I could do this for you. Monday and Tuesday go to the crime scene where there's this robot already gathering evidence, basically giving them no reason to be there. It is scary how much time they give it to it. They spend a solid 10 seconds explaining how this thing works, proving my point even more, how this thing gives more use than they did in the end. We get to see them take evidence to this other machine which analyzes it by turning them into playing cards and observing it. It's not blackjack, the hell? What the fuck? It doesn't even matter because it ends up getting turned into piano music, and they're like, oh, obviously it's Mother McCree. So they look through the files and find this guy, and their first hint should have been the fact that he literally have never been suspected of anything before and has nothing on his criminal record. So they obviously chase him down all around for a solid hour. And it was, not only was it the wrong guy, but then they ended up getting penalized for it and got 30 years in prison. Moral of the story, just give up. Give up while you can. Don't even try.
Oh, well, ain't that sweet? For the last time, I don't want bread. And, okay!
We're sorry.
There's still one thing I need to do. Get rid of the evidence.
Alright, now this is just a dumb idea for a short. We already had a Looney Tunes Superman parody with Super Rabbit, so what's the point of this short? Granted, yes, the beats are different from that short, but oh my god, this is just a worse version of Super Rabbit. So basically, Daffy plays the role of Cluck Trent, aka Stupor Duck. Like I said in Stupor Salesman segment, I think the pun is stupid. So basically, Daffy accidentally hears his boss watching a soap opera. Oh my god, I'm spending so much boss watching a soap opera and assumes it's evil doing, and he goes out of his way to stop this evil doer that gets in the way of something and injury. Bro, this short sucked so much the life out of me. It's similar to something like an upstanding sitter. Okay, I think some jokes work, but others not so much. It all feels like a diet Super Rabbit. Actually, I decided to look at Super Rabbit after the short to compare, and holy shit, that one blows this one out of the water. Great, the Super Rabbit has some slow bits, but overall is a funny short, and I think was one of Jones's best early work. Well, I think this short is yet again another McKimson short, actually below the upstanding sitter, because at least that one had like an original plot. Okay, first of all, thank Christ it's not McKinson! But second, I was actually shocked to say I like this one. It follows a very basic plot I'm pretty sure people would assume I wouldn't like. So basically, Bugs needs a stunt double, and Daffy, overcome with jealousy, decides to be Bugs' stunt double. Now, granted, yes, this plot at first I wouldn't like, because it's basically Daffy getting abused throughout, and also he has that Jones personality in there. Gosh, it's insane to think that the more egotistical Bugs rival Daffy is well known with Jones, because he sort of invented it, but not really. Freeling seems to use it way more often, it feels like. I mean, hell, he used it even when Daffy was in his screwball phase. But yeah, you would assume I wouldn't like it, but honestly, I found it quite funny. Got some good delivery, the reactions, the violence, it's all there. Honestly, I'm impressed, Freeling. You made me laugh. Now do that more often, McKimson!
Where are you?
Who the fuck brings real guns to a movie set? Alright, now this is a Detective Daffy short. Not as good as Peak because, well, nothing can, but this one is alright. So basically it's a parody of Sherlock Holmes, where Daffy is Doorlock Holmes. For some reason, despite Sherlock being in the public domain, and they even fucking use that name in the Great Piggy Bank robbery.
Scram, Sherlock. I'm working this side of the street.
So what the fuck? So basically Daffy and Porky parody Holmes and Watkin, and Daffy's very psychotically tries to find a slasher on the loose, which ultimately failed. But I could say I actually do like Daffy as Holmes here. He's so chaotic, it's really fun. Granted though, him meeting up with the slasher basically devolves into the joke from My Little Duckaroo, but the beginning was pretty good, so there's that. Also, Porky just giving the shit-eating grin is honestly some of the funniest stuff around. This is probably Daffy at his most greediest, but granted, I find the show entertaining. Not flat out funny, but I honestly love the interactions between Bugs and Daffy here. Granted, it's not the Looney Tunes show quality, but seeing Daffy go on a trip with Bugs to a beach, then cave his head in when she finds all that money, then wants him dead, but then wants him to help, it's like, what the hell, man? You're so bipolar. Why does Bugs hang out with this guy? Is it because of his own sick pleasure? I don't know. Granted, though, there are some fun elements here, like Bugs as the genie, the fact Daffy instantly just tells the real genie to fuck off is funny, and also for some reason his punishment is shrinking him. Okay, this is me holding on to those classic Daffy shorts, I swear to God. Granted though, hearing Daffy call himself a greedy slob makes me sad, but oh fucking well, we're never getting that classic Daffy again. Hell, I'm sad. Thanks, Alibaba. Where the fuck did he go? Oh my God, it's so fucking hard to say anything about these shorts now. Mainly talking about the McKimson ones, because at least I could say some stuff about the Jones ones and Freeling, but McKimson, so Daffy is the detective and his shit is stolen, and he gotta get it back. The short has nothing really going on. Well, okay, it has some stuff to say, like the girl duck here just straight up looks like a human with a bill. It's really weird. The villain in the short is an absolute goober. This guy is not threatening at all. Granted, there are some funny jokes.
Something to keep me from.
But really, I have nothing to say. Jesus, McKinson, stop making shorts! Jesus, McKimson, keep making shorts! McKimson is a weird specimen. He can make quite possibly the worst Daffy shorts ever made, but then he goes and makes a pretty decent short. I think this one goes high up just because of the name. Like, you know what they were doing, you know. And the short itself has a fun concept. So basically, Daffy has to take an animal back to the zoo, and this animal is really attracted to music. And then he gets the animal back, he earns $5,000. Oh, did I forget to mention this animal is the fucking Tasmanian Devil? Yeah, folks, a Daffy and Taz team up. This would be Taz's only appearance in the Golden Age where he doesn't go up against Bugs. And I always think that's so cool. Similar to Along Came Daffy, I'm shocked they never go back to this idea, even in future projects. Granted, Daffy and Taz had some interactions in the Looney Tunes show, but Taz was a really different character there. I'm talking more about their actual standard basic bitch appearances. And I actually do think this short does a good job of having Daffy trying to keep up the music for Kaz so he doesn't die, but then he decides to just sing all the way there, to which I'm shocked he didn't do that from the start.
Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina.
Hey, that's just all for book review! I do think they do a good job balancing the trickster and greedster side of Daffy here. It's kind of like You Were Never Duckier, where they balance Daffy's looniness with greed. Granted, I don't think he goes as far like in Duckier, but oh well. One thing I'm not a fan of, though, is how Taz sounds. He sounds oddly more high-pitched, and it can get pretty ear-rapey, but it does have one of the best endings to a Looney Tunes chart ever, with one of the dollar bills being snatched by Taz, and Daffy single-handedly beats the shit out of him. He wins this fight. So it's nice seeing Daffy not completely shit-faced for once. So yeah, not the funniest short, but definitely going higher than most of the shorts right now. It's got a fun concept that I wish was fleshed out just a little more, but oh well.
They're off!
Somebody please help me, there's a lasagna in my...
Daffy fucking dies! Well, again, but he fucking dies! Alright, but despite the fact this short is labeled as a Bugs short and it's called Showbiz Bugs, he kinda takes a back seat. The short is more about Daffy, which I'm actually okay with. Unfortunately, though, I still can't get over Freeling's portrayal of Daffy. It's like Donald Duck, except the jealousy is ramped up to an 11. It's ridiculous. Or should I say, loony. Granted, I wouldn't be shocked if someone decides to instead rework the short into a Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck short instead. I actually would really like to see that.
For my tenant. I tenant you. Bitch, if you're not a coward. If you're not that mess, you'll starve it for some real hoofing. I'll kill him. Music, Maestro. Please, eat up from the top.
Wait, I just realized, in the end of the short, Daffy blows himself up and he dies, but here he blows himself up and he doesn't die. What, did he have a sonic shield on or something? What the frick? Where's my realism in a short about a giant talking rabbit and duck? Also, I just realized Daffy in the short is smaller than Bugs. Okay, but overall, the jokes are pretty snappy. It's just, I'm getting sick of this version of Daffy. I know, I only have to do this once. Really? They made a whole plot around an axe? A fucking axe? Who made the short? Of course! So basically, Elmer has a pet duck, Daffy, with his pet dog, Rover, who is the Dow! And basically after Daffy eats Dog's chicken, Dow convinces Elmer, wait, what? Yeah, apparently in this cartoon, and only this cartoon, Elmer has a wife, which is interesting. Surprise they didn't use Porky, because A, he already had Dog as a pet, B, we haven't seen in a short in a long time, where Porky and Daffy are antagonistic towards each other, and C, he has Petunia!
She is such a bad bitch, though.
But oh well, I suppose. I do love the way Dao convinces Mrs. Fudd to cook Daffy. He tries to do charades, but then gets so fed up to the point where he just talks. Yeah, full blown, the only time in the short where he does that. Also, show, Daffy just starts quacking like a normal duck would, which, we haven't seen in a long time. But granted, this short is pretty run-of-the-mill chase short. It's just a dog is here to help Elmer. Granted, though, I do prefer Daffy Duck Hunt, mainly because that short is just funnier.
Oh, I should have told you. I'm a vegetarian. Never eat duck.
Is that supposed to be Elmer? What the fuck? I'm super split on whether I like this short or not. It does a lot of things I like, got a few pretty funny jokes, but I don't know, it's like the Daffy Duck, where it just doesn't click. For starters, the idea of Daffy being Robin Hood is genius. However, the things they do in this short, I'm not a huge fan of. So Daffy is Robin Hood, and Friar Porky over here wants to join Robin Hood's clan. However, he's not convinced that Daffy is Robin Hood, so Daffy tries to prove it to him by stealing from the rich, but it fails. Okay, one thing is that even though Porky's giggling like mad is iconic, like when both Daffy and Porky start laughing, I start laughing too. It's like a virus. I think the problem with this short, I think it feels too much like a Wile E. Coyote cartoon to me for some reason. Honestly, I would have preferred something like what Rabbit Hood did, where Daffy was trying to do a successful heist, but it has to outsmart the sheriff and king or some shit. I feel like Jones actually would have done something like that in Daffy's early years, like Never Ducky or A Pest in the House, but alas. The short's got some good moments, but it's not my favorite. Granted though, like I said with almost every other Daffy appearance, I would have liked to see a return for Robin Hood Daffy sometime in the future. Give him proper justice instead of rehashing Roadrunner gags!
To trip it, 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 trip whoops, trip it, 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 trip it.
What the fuck? That's really all I have to say. This short is like pretty racist. So Daffy's a detective yet again. Jesus. First he had his salesman persona he never shut the fuck up about, and now he's in his detective phase. Fun! The short sucks. It has similar problems as Quackshot. Like, Daffy tries to save someone he thought was trapped in a bakery, and he gets false tips from someone, but for some reason he gets the short end of the stick. Why? I'm not rooting for Daffy to lose, like, what the hell? But I feel like it's worse than that short, mainly because it makes me feel uneasy to watch. Also, it's called China Jones, but it ain't directed by Chuck. Right, bottom of the list. At least Quackshot didn't make me uncomfortable while watching it. It also led to a cool Donald Duck game. Alright, what the fuck? Who gave Daffy a gun? And also, Bugs is wrong. Ducks are also good at multiplying. But anyways, the simple concept of the short is that Daffy decides to take Bugs as a hostage so he can make some money. But at the same time, Bugs tricks him, or he gets distracted, etc, etc. This short feels so not Daffy, it's Daffy. Wait, what? I don't mean it like that. I mean, Daffy feels more like Elmer Fudd than Daffy. I mean, taking Bugs hostage for greed only for it to blow up in his face? That is literally Elmer. Wait, no. That's not Elmer. It's Yosemite Sam! Bug short, but for some reason it's Daffy who's the villain. I mean, granted they try to make this funny, but like, I don't know, man. There's just not a lot to say about these shorts now. Why did I do this? Of course, you know the drill. Not going that high, la-di-da. At least we're done with the 50s, and... Wait, where? Ladies and germs, we're in the 1960s. The start of an era. Daffy's worst years on film. Granted, we're not in the Patting Freeling era yet, but it's gonna happen sooner than later. We're keeping that in. Also, the fact that short was made on April 1st, are they making fun of me? Oh, hey, that's where the Daffy tap dancing gift comes from. So basically, Daffy sets up... Daffy? No. So basically, Bugs gets set up for an interview, and for some reason, Daffy decides to hop by for a visit. I actually really want to know why he went to Bugs' house in the first place, but oh well. Eventually, Elmer gets involved due to Bugs making fun of him on TV, and when Elmer tries to get Bugs, Daffy steals the spotlight. Because I know Daffy's kind of a dick for hogging the camera to himself, but like, I just love how happy he is to be on camera, and then when he finds out 40 million people are watching, he passes out. He's just like me, he has a massive ego, but when on stage, I freak out. Okay, not really, because I'm not a pussy. They also reused a joke kinda from All This and Rabbit Stew? Okay. The short is fine, nothing crazy to say about it, other than get this mug rabbit out of here. This is Daffy's show, damn it! Goddamn, like I stated, we're not in the Patting Freeling era just yet, because Jones is here! I actually find it so interesting seeing Jones's style involved, the big stylized appearance you would go for in the 60s. It's honestly cool. So basically, Bugs and Daffy accidentally travel to the Himalayas, where they come across the abominable snowman. And the snowman, who I will call Hugo, because that's his actual name, thinks Daffy's a rabbit, and he'll cuddle and squeeze him and hug him and name him George. Eventually, Daffy convinces Hugo to go after Bugs, and becomes a battle between Bugs and Daffy on who's gonna be Hugo's pet. I always find it weird how Daffy could just be an evil son of a bitch in the flip of a dime. It's a little weird, like how he travels with Bugs to the beach, and then decides to let him die in the snowlands of Hugo. Cause, I mean, he probably would have died too, so every man for himself, I guess. I do find it funny that Daffy's reaction to Hugo is a slight, and Bugs is not even shocked. He's just like, what do you know? I also find it neat that when Hugo meets Daffy, Daffy tries to restrain himself by telling Hugo calmly,
I'm not a bunny rabbit.
And pat him and pet him and...
You are hurting me. Put me down, please.
And rub him and caress him and...
I ain't no bunny!
until full-blown just shouting at him. I do like that Hugo's not really a bad guy, he's just too lovable and very strong and it hurts people. Kinda like the character he's supposed to be parodying, Lenny from A Mice of Men. And just like Lenny, he fucking dies at the end. God damn, bro was just trying to be nice. So overall, while not the greatest, it's definitely a very fun short, and I totally recommend it if you haven't seen it. It'll probably be the best out of the 1960 shorts, that's for true. So this is a short where Daffy shoots himself, but for real, this short's actually alright. So basically, after getting a broom as a present, Daffy is fed up with working for Porky, and decides to make his own saloon and draw customers in. I like how Daffy at first tries to compete with Porky until saying, fuck it, let's kill him. There's honestly some pretty good jokes, like the one where Daffy shoots himself, but also getting robbed on the first day. And at first, I thought it was a predictable joke where Daffy crashes a boulder in his own saloon, but then I laugh when he turned into a jackass.
You are a jackass.
Also, the live action bit is great. Always love when that happens in these shorts. Even though the short that wasn't live action I didn't like, but granted, this gets a thumbs up. It's really good. Okay, show the scene. Ooh, Arthur Davis did this one? We haven't seen him in ages. Too bad the short is not good. Why is it in this whole short? Daffy doesn't have the white thing on his neck. Where'd it go? How do you not remember to include that? That's like not giving Bugs his own gloves in a short. But anyway, so Daffy has to sit on an egg because his wife told him to. And my god, this has to be the worst wife Daffy has had outside of the one who had Waxford as a son. And I can't believe that Daffy's wife is a word I said. But we had the Donald Duck sounding bitch, the loud annoying one, the one that just let her husband kill a stork, the one who had Waxford, like I mentioned, and this one who has the worst sounding voice out of all of them. I mean, sure, the one from Henpeck just kept shouting, I want a divorce! But at least that one didn't sound like she's been chain smoking for 4 years.
Didn't I tell you to stay on that egg?
But anyway, simply, Daffy loses the egg and grabs it out of an alligator's nest, which of course upsets the male alligator, and hell breaks loose. For some reason, this short gives me strong feelings of the SpongeBob episode Employee of the Month, mainly the scene where SpongeBob and Squidward set traps for each other, which is a thing I'd rather watch in these shorts. Oh my god, this short is mid as hell, I feel like. Also, they like, basically reuse the same joke twice. I mean, come on, we're not that dumb.
Nope, no fitting.
I thought the title was Good Nose, until I realized what it actually was. Oh, Papa. So basically the plot is Daffy's a stowaway, but convinces the captain that if he does a good magic trick, he'll let him live. But also the fucking parrot keeps messing with him, ruining the act. I really wanted to blow this little fucker up at the end, but oh well. Honestly, I think there are some funny jokes here, like Daffy trying to do the trick where you break something, but it's actually fine, yet he completely breaks it. The captain's reaction is what makes it so funny. And also, there was potential for funny jokes, like Daffy doing the trick where you tie yourself up, yet you get out just fine. Yet the only joke they do with this is that he's trapped in there for 10 days, and he says, you dirty rat. La-di-da. I think the short is best summarized by the title card, lifeless, with only 2 clouds there, like how it represents the only 2 good things about this short, and everything else is mid. Jesus Christ, are we almost done? Okay, so the plot is that Daffy tries to get into a millionaire's house, but his champion... Okay, so the plot is Daffy tries to get into a millionaire's house to be his companion, but his dog forces Daffy out. Dude, I'm so drained from these. How the hell does Ellis Mark do these? I swear to God. Like, outside of the brief money thing, these feel more like fucking Sylvester shorts than anything. Wouldn't be shocked if some gags were used from Sylvester shorts. Also, Daffy does the Yosemite Sam rack and frackin' thing. Like,
blast the rack and frackin' gorilla collar flatten.
What the fuck? This is not the same Duck I know! The chaotic lunatic taking great joy from tormenting his enemies / victims. This is just a blank slate to be put into these stories to be tortured. The security system takes control of Squidward's house! Yeah! Fuck! Don't watch this. In fact, don't watch any of the shorts from the 60s. You're saving your sanity doing it. Outside of having that legendary still of Bugs and Daffy looking miserable, this short is okay, I guess. So basically, Bugs and Daffy won a contest where both of them have to race to the finish, basically to win what Daffy thinks is $1 million. So Daffy tries to sabotage Bugs every chance he gets, failing. Kinda honestly, this short is alright, I guess. I think when Daffy yells to his death, it doesn't go that hard. Like, compared to all the other time Daffy yells to this. My god, that's pathetic. Okay, well, honestly, I can't blame Mel Blanc because it's like the 60s. He's probably like 70 years old by the time he did this, but still. Also, Bugs says this.
I wonder if Daffy will remember that he can fly.
Says the guy who doesn't bury in the ground to give him an advantage and also needs fucking springs to jump. Now, I actually do find it charming that Daffy wins, but is a smartass and gives the prize to Bugs because the prize is $1 million boxes. But he didn't find out that each box has $1 in it. And the short is fine. I think I said that like 3 times now, but sheesh!
Daffy, say something to the audience.
I'm over this stroker, mate.
This is definitely a short. I don't know how many times I could say interesting or weird things to say about a short. This far in the list about acting like Daffy in this short. Basically, Daffy's in the desert, and he finds a thing of gold. However, Rack keeps on trying to give Daffy water in exchange for the gold, and Daffy does not push it, which makes him go mad. He does the fucking woohoo! Finally, he goes woohoo! Woohoo! Man, I'm dying to give myself some water too. I mean, I think the short is very experimental, like Duck Amuck. Daffy's the only character in the short, or well, the only one who talks, and we just see a Duck go mad over not getting water. I do find it funny that when he finally does just give the rat the gold for the water, a flood happens, and Daffy just accepts it, which is kind of wholesome. Granted, the short is not super funny, but I do respect the idea, so it's not going at the bottom anytime soon. Bottom. Like, but
That whiskey was watered.
Ooh, I love this short! So the plot of this one is that Daffy decides to be a fucking hunter and skin Bugs, who has to outsmart him, and Daffy talks like Sam, so I'm wondering, what the fuck is the point of having him be here? Make it Elmer, make it Sam, make it some rando Phil Maury! Wait, why? You're a newbie, yet I already hate you. At least McKinson took like 4 shorts. Congrats! You fucking suck! And this short sucks! Bottom of the list! The short bastardized Daffy to hell and back! This is not the Duck I know! Where's my Daffy? The Daffy that was crazy and did wild shit just because he wanted to! He's not a fucking Yosemite Sam ripoff! He was never meant to be! People know this short only because of the toothpaste gag! Which is honestly the only funny part. Fuck this short! Oh boy! Can't wait for the next one! Hey, you want to know a funny little fact about Phil Monroe? Yeah, not Phil Maury, Phil Monroe. Despite this being the first time he ever really directed a short, actually, I think it's the second time he ever directed a Looney Tunes short, Phil has actually been an animator on the Looney Tunes for the longest time. As a matter of fact, he's primarily been an animator in Jones's department since the 1950s, which means he actually animated a ton of Daffy Duck shorts, a ton of Daffy shorts I actually really like Porky Pig's Feet. Okay, that's not a 50s Jones short, but shut up, it is a Daffy short. Anyways, Scarlet Pumpernickel, Rabbit Fire, Duck Dodgers, even the Ducksters he's animated on, which I really like those shorts. So it just goes to show, Phil, stick in your lane, no offense. I'm saying this like he's still alive. He's probably been dead for several years. You don't know, maybe. I mean, he looks a lot like Dennis from Always Sunny, so you never know with stuff like that. Oh no. No! 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 Ladies and gentlemen, we hit to the padding Freeling era. People say these are quite possibly the worst out of the Looney Tunes shorts that were ever made. Oh boy! So this thing has probably the longest fucking name for a short so far. So this short went on to inspire the standard for most of these shorts. Basically, Daffy now has to deal with Speedy Gonzales. Yeah, the Mexican mouse that runs fast, who's mainly the adversary for Sylvester, is now put up with Daffy. I mean, I find it ironic that in the beginning, Granny decides to call up Daffy to deal with this mess, taking Sylvester to the vet because he suffers from a psychotic episode. It's kind of weird how this feels like a twisted passing on the torch, but this short following is, oh, so mid. I mean, I like Speedy, but he doesn't work with Daffy that well. The jokes are not good at all, and also the ending makes no sense. So Daffy makes this mouse grinder thing, but for some reason it has to tell the machine to get a mouse by encoding a card, even though its main goal should be getting mice, and Speedy decides to put a Daffy Duck comic in the slot. Okay, what the fuck is that? First of all, you can sniff this from a mile away, it's so predictable, but also, like, if Daffy has comics made about him, then why the fuck is he an exterminator? It makes no sense! They could've just used the picture of a duck, but no! Also, it just ends out of the blue! What happened to Sylvester? This is definitely not going high at all, it's pretty F'd here. Great, because we have 27 more shorts. Fun. After watching this short, I simply went, what the fuck? That's the only emotion I have in this short. So Daffy and Speedy both get stranded on an island somehow, and Daffy finds a box of food. However, he needs a cannon opener, which Speedy somehow has. Also, since Daffy's a greedy bitch, he doesn't want to give Speedy some of the food for the can opener, even though Speedy does give a pretty good argument, saying he's only a little guy and he doesn't need to eat much, but for some reason, Daffy still doesn't give in. And most of the short is Daffy trying to open the can, and Speedy teasing Daffy with the can opener. Wait a minute, this is literally the Sylvester Short can feud! Like, it's basically the plot, except the setting is different and the characters are different. And the most ironic part, they even reused the axe gag! Wow, that's just so lazy! And shockingly enough, Can Feud, it's not my personal favorite Sylvester Short, but it's a million times funnier, better animated, overall a lot tighter of a story than this slop. There's not even that much slapstick, especially at the beginning. It's all basic bitch dialogue. It's a real slog in my opinion, and Daffy is just so unlikable. He's not funny at all, he's just a basic douche.
Company? You can't even speak good English.
And he's racist? I didn't know it was possible to make Daffy more evil, but they did it! They made him racist! Fuck this short! Fuck this short! At least with the Iceman Ducketh, they tried to be funny, but they just made me mad. This short just bored me to death. And I feel like something is worse when it's boring compared to making you mad. So, fun! I bet most of these shorts are gonna be at the bottom of the list. Awesome! Yippee! Alright, here's a funny little fact. Did you know that McKimson has been directing these shorts? Yeah, he directed this one and the Moby Duck one. My god, how could you directing it worse? Alright, that may be a little harsh because I did get a couple chuckles from the short. So basically, Daffy calls a war on Speedy. Yeah, like a full-blown war. They have bases and everything. Which, I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's so dumb that it has to be these two. Like, what? See, this is what happens when the padding freeling didn't get the rights for, like, bugs. So they were forced to, oh yeah, we're 3 shorts in, and I forgot to even talk about what the hell is a padding freeling. Oopsies. Okay, so basically very, very quick rundown. Warner Brothers closed their animation studio around this time because they didn't want to make shorts for feeders because people didn't really care, mainly because television was becoming more prominent. But then they decided they want to do it again, so they decided to license characters to the padding freeling, consisting of ex-animators, including Frisk Freeling. And Warner Bros. Only gave them a handful of characters to work with, ones being Daffy and Speedy. Alright, the short itself, it's okay, I feel like this is a step up from Moby Duck. Like, I actually chuckled at a few jokes, but I just can't not get over this version of Daffy. Bro might as well not even called Daffy. He's more like angry. Oh, so basically Donald Duck. I mean, Donald has to deal with rodents as well. Man, fuck this era. And no, a couple of exhales was not making you go high. Though, at least I was not mad or completely bored throughout the whole short. So it's got that going for it.
19, 20. Huh? Only 20? That makes 21.
Oh my god, there's nothing to say about these shorts, and there's nothing about Daffy. Like, what do you want me to say? He acts nothing like how he's supposed to. He acts like a stock villain for Speedy. These are Speedy shorts, not Daffy. So basically, Daffy has a well. Speedy wants to drink out of it, and Daffy ratios him. Granted, I do like to see Daffy outsmart someone. It's been so fucking long, it gives me joy to see him be clever. Though, you're not supposed to root for him in this short. You're supposed to root for Speedy to get the water. So, wait, why would I want to see Speedy fail? Besides, Daffy's not even a likable villain here. He's fucking stock as ever. You know it's a crime that in your Daffy short, the camel is the funniest character. Also, the ending makes no sense. So Daffy tries to blow up the well for Speedy and Pals to not get water, but it's a well. That's how that works. And then Speedy ties the dynamite to Daffy's camel. However, it doesn't even look like it's hurting him. This short is so basic and bad. Going at the top.
Only one thing worse than a smart mouse, and that's 3 smart mice.
What does that even mean? My god! These shorts! You get the point, okay. So Daffy is yet again a hunter. Stop doing that! That's not his character! I know Daffy is supposed to be the type of character that can be put into any scenario, like a boxer, soldier, salesman, space ranger, but some do not match, like being a hunter. That's like Bugs being a hunter. It just doesn't work. That's not his character. So basically one of the few shorts where Daffy is not paired with Speedy, he's trying to get a bear, though there's a bordering line on where you can hunt. So basically Daffy tries to get the bear on the other side so he can get across the boundary line. Jokes in this one are so predictable and also take so long to set up. Like, for example, one where Daffy digs a hole in the ground and the bear calculates where he's gonna pop out of, so then he can blow Daffy up. This sketch should last like maybe 15 seconds or 10, but it goes on for like 25. Also, you can tell Mel Blanc can't really do the Daffy voice anymore. It's not crazy noticeable yet, but it's pretty dry and dead sounding. Gone are the days of the high-pitched screwball. Well, I mean, those days are over for a long while. I don't know where to put this short. Of course, we're on the bottom, but... Also, is McKimson gonna be the director the whole freaking time? Whoa, wait! I didn't know they can use Porky. Why didn't they use him more? So it's Halloween and Granny has candy. Granny! However, trick-or-treaters keep terrorizing her, and coincidentally, a criminal is also wearing the same outfit as her. So Daffy and Porky, being cops, try to chase down the criminal, but ran into Granny, who assumes they're trick-or-treaters. Like, for some fucking reason, I don't know why, doesn't she see the fucking cop car? Also, like with China Jones, why would I want to see the bad guy outsmart Daffy? I'm not rooting for him, right? Also, Porky is just a dumbass here for no reason. Like, I know he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he wouldn't remove nails on a floorboard that Daffy's on because the nails were crooked. That's just plain stupid.
Oh no, he wouldn't.
This short doesn't even feel like Halloween. I bet my Christmas specials act more like a Halloween themed short than this Halloween short. This thing is just so boring. What else is there to say?
I'll take it.
You got it.
Daffy tries to find gold, and the Goofy Gophers out here? Yeah, I never would have thought Daffy would cross over with the Goofy Gophers, which I never really liked these characters. I mean, granted, I think they were funny in the Looney Tunes show, but their OG incarnations were never funny in my opinion. The whole joke is that, oh, they're polite to each other, acting like gentlemen, and that stick gets really old fast. Also, is it just me, or do I feel like the short was a leftover Bugs and Daffy short? I don't know what it is, it just kind of feels like that to me. What do you want me to say? The longer I talk, it just feels like white noise. Moving on. Alright, so the concept here is that Speedy's helping this crow with getting corn from Daffy's cornfield because Daffy owns a cornfield, and of course, Lojinx. Honestly, I thought I had nothing to say about the short, but it did catch me off guard around the end point. So throughout the short, the crow and Speedy try to get corn, and Daffy gets in the way for some reason. He gets in a helicopter. Also, wait, a skateboard? Those were a thing in the 60s? Anywho, Daffy tries to make a deal with Speedy, where if he gets rid of the crow, he can have the corn. Speedy declines, and Daffy tells the crow if he gets rid of Speedy, then he'll give him the corn, and he obliges. Bro goes out of his way to kill his friend, which is so dark, it's kind of funny. Of course, the crow can't do it at first, so Daffy tries to finish the job, but then the crow pulls out a revolver. Okay, but your whole goal throughout the short is to get corn. Daffy, yes, has a rifle, but you have a gun too? Couldn't he easily just shoot him when he ain't looking?
Shoot him now! Shoot him now!
And even then, Daffy says if he lets him shoot Speedy, he can get the corn, which then Crow plays 4D chess and makes it where the cornfield is his. Honestly, big brain move, but that doesn't save this short from being good.
With friends like that local Crow, who needs enemies?
He tried killing you! For some reason, this one doesn't open with the Looney Tunes intro for some reason, which I might as well say, even though this thing is the exact definition of a pending doom, I do like it. If you have like the traditional Looney Tunes intro, but on an acid trip, it's great. The short itself is actually one of the few better ones. There, I said it, the best out of the Penny Freeling short so far. So basically, Daffy runs a TV/radio store, and Speedy wants to play music for his friends, and Daffy tells him he can't because he has to pay for it, which honestly is fair. Like, I know I'm not supposed to root for Daffy, but like, he's got a point. But despite the short being better than the others, it doesn't make it good at all. I feel like the main problem is that there's no jokes, or well, barely any jokes at all. Most of the slapstick is stripped, and instead of replacing with dialogue humor, we just have talking. Like, Daffy has to explain his plan to us. Like, why not just show it? Instead of help blind people? Which, granted, that would have been nice, but holy shit, is it a slog? And it's crazy because the shorts have the same runtime as the pre-60 shorts, but those felt like way faster because they were, you know, sometimes funny. Only 19 left. Only 19 left. Only 19 left. Well, outside of spoiling the ending joke, this short had... Oh my god, it's bland. It's like the Looney Tunes version of bland chicken. There's nothing. Bottom of the list. This is draining. I thought this would have been fun, but I guess not. Hey, gotta give McKinson credit. He's basically with Daffy his whole life, and yet is my least favorite director of the Daffy Duck shorts. Fun.
Where did I go wrong?
I'm asking the same question. This one is weird because it's actually a clip show compilation of Speedy and this little mouse using their imagination to look at past Daffy shorts, specifically Robin Hood Daffy, Deduce You Say, and China Jones. Oh great, 2 decent shorts and 1 shit one. Awesome, at least the shorts remind me that Daffy can be funny sometimes, so there's that. And also Daffy actually gets a leg up from Speedy, whacking him with a mallet because he kept calling him stupid, which is satisfying to see. Well, I mean, what else do you want me to say? It's a clip show, la-di-da. Okay, so this one, Daffy tries to ship mice in a box and Speedy outsmarts him the end. I think the short is really bare bones. That's it. The end. Well, not really, because we got 16 more left. I want to know, is that so? What does that even mean? Daffy tries to ship mice to some starving cats so that he doesn't have a mouse invasion, and Speedy comes in and takes away the mice in the box. Why doesn't he just give up then? The mice are gone. They probably won't go into his house again. Just stop. Make the short grow quicker. So the short just ends abruptly like this. So this one has Speedy in a hospital, and Daffy has a machine named Herman. It's also a damn shame that Herman is the funniest thing in the short.
They can't do this to us. We'll get them. We'll never give up.
He's we. There is no we.
Also, Daffy, don't make a machine that demands you to split 50-50, like what? Alright, whatever. So the short is whatever, I guess. They had a fun idea, but it completely falls flat on its face. However, will slightly be higher than the others, because at least it tried to be unique. Also, Giant Rat is funny, so yeah. Ow, what the fuck kind of sound is that? Okay, after all the slop, this short is fucking insane. So first of all, it's a short with Daffy, Speedy, and Witch Hazel? Yeah, Hazel. So basically it opens with, wait, that's just Bugs' costume from that one short. In fact, most of the animation, especially on Hazel's, reused. Boy, I hope somebody got fired for that blunder. But, so the duck dressed in the witch costume is not Daffy, but instead a nephew because he calls Daffy Uncle Daffy, despite the two literally looking the same. It's like Sylvester Jr. But what happens is that Hazel takes a vacation and turns Speedy into her? And then Speedy transforms Daffy into the fucking abomination thing from Duck Amuck? I'm dead serious. They even reuse a joke from that short. This thing is batshit insane. Granted, not funny, but crazy, which I guess makes sense for Hazel since she's in the short. Well, not Daffy though, because God forbid him going woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Speedy's a little bitch. I don't know why I decided to open with this, but why not? So basically, plot in a nutshell. Speedy frozen, need wood. Daffy has wood. Speedy tries getting wood. It's very run of the mill. And to the jokes, try. They aren't funny, but they try. It's just, I can't with these shorts anymore. And besides, Speedy is fucking greedy. He has a tiny little house, and yet he apparently steals almost all of Daffy's wood. And then accidentally Daffy's house. Wow. Who am I supposed to root for? Though, I will admit, it has a nice ending where Daffy disguises himself as a mouse to chill with Speedy for the night. Oddly wholesome. At least it's better than most shorts. God, the video quality is just getting worse and worse! Like my sanity. I really wanted to gloss over this one due to how bad the short looks, but there are a couple funny jokes here, I have to admit. Basically, Daffy and Speedy enter a boat contest, and then ships happens. Like I stated, there are some funny jokes.
Rules say you must have an anchor. You can borrow mine. Here.
But most of the time, it's just okay, I guess. However, Daffy actually does it. He goes, woo! Yes! Yes! Finally! Ah! But also, one thing I find that's weird is that even though Daffy is in Mexico most of the time in these shorts, he doesn't have an accent at all. Like, I get why. I assume his voice is just so well known that it would be weird to change it. But, I mean, fuck it, it would be funny. And also have me saying something more about these shit shorts. So, moving on. Well, this short is stupid. So Daffy decides to help the mayor of a town to get rid of Speedy. Basic. However, at the end, when Daffy finally does do it, he doesn't get paid the full amount he was promised, and then doesn't let the mayor cat have Speedy, and for some reason, this causes him to get his shit kicked in. Well, what the fuck? Bro went through hell and back to get this thing and this prize. Man, fuck this short. Bottom of the list. This low-key makes me mad. As when I watched the Iceman Ducketh, and I think it's all because of the ending joke. That's not funny at all. I don't want to see Daffy suffer, and then get more suffering. What the hell? Bottom of the list. Like, come on, this is pathetic. Also, the jokes aren't good, and the short has too much dialogue when it doesn't need it. That also helps it make it completely ass. You know, this short kind of reminds me of that Chuck Jones Tom and Jerry show where Tom is trying to sleep to get some sleep, but Jerry's band is playing music. However, this one, like, okay, sure, Daffy's trying to kill Speedy's douchey, but, like, my man just wants sleep. What's wrong with that? The short? It's a Daffy Duck short. Even though it clearly has Darwin in it. If you get that reference, you deserve a medal.
Starkle, starkle, little twink, up above the skating rink.
I genuinely don't like this short, but not in the way you think. It's because I had to add this short way after post voiceover. You see, I had this whole script done and voiceover done, so I was taking a break and looking over some of the Looney Tunes characters' filmographies, because I might, keyword might, do this again in the future, but with Bugs. And I simply wanted to see how many shorts he had, being 172. I knew Porky came in second, with Daffy coming in third with 130, even though the full ranking I did is 128, because for some reason Wikipedia counts cameo appearances like Sarah Hare and Ape Saraf. But anyways, I knew the fourth character who appeared the most was Sylvester, and I saw that his last appearance in a short was this one. And at first, I didn't even know this short existed. I guess I must have deleted it from the list on accident, but then I remembered, is this the one short with that one clip I saw of Sylvester and Daffy trying to get Speedy? And yes, it was. And the whole plot, unfortunately, centers around Daffy, so I had to look at it. Awesome. This short had the stupidest premise ever. However, unlike Super Snooper, it's stupid in a bad way. Like, the basic plot is that Daffy goes to a therapist's office and starts talking about a tale about how, for some reason, he started getting cat-like tendencies after seeing Speedy and wanting to eat him. At first, since I saw Sylvester, I thought it was going to be him and Daffy, like, up against Speedy, but no. Which I'm lucky it isn't, because that's fucking stupid. That's genuinely mentally retarded. Quite a silly thing to do. Also, Daffy's design in the Patty Freeling era, I just hate. He has this, like, Jones look going for him, but he looks too Acme Arsenal looking ass design. Like, you can see his kneecaps, his feet look ugly, it's just bad. Now, granted, shockingly enough, there are some jokes that made me laugh, like Sylvester slapping Daffy around, which at first I thought was him being mad at Daffy, but I like to see it as him knocking sense into him. Like, the whole joke is Daffy thinks he's a cat, which is not really as funny as you think it is. Now, yes, before going further, I get guess you can say it's poking fun at the idea of the whole Daffy and Speedy being together in these shorts. Like, think about it. Why would Daffy go after Speedy? Which, if that's the case, that's actually really clever. However, in the previous shorts with Daffy and Speedy, Daffy never wanted to, like, eat him. He only wanted him, like, I don't know, kicked out of the house or something.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
So the parody falls flat.
You got me? You? What good is a mouth to a duck? You might be useful to a cat, but ducks don't eat mice.
I have to say, though, the best part of the short is when Daffy finds out why he's acting like a cat. It's because he's near a catnip factory and smells the fumes from it. So instead of just moving away, he fucking nukes the factory. Like, the punchline is supposed to be that the cats beat Daffy up for doing this, but I'm thinking about the fact Daffy committed literal genocide over a small issue, because that factory was still operating and he killed thousands. Holy shit! I have to admit, that's so dark, it wraps back around to being funny again. So it's definitely going higher than most of Padding Freeling shorts, but not high enough because it made me have to redo this segment again. And then I drop an F-bomb. Funniest shit I ever did. Alright, you know, this one kind of gives me vibes of Porky's Last Stand. It's probably due to the fact that it's about Daffy running a diner, or it could be me thinking about actually good shorts for the love of God. So Daffy tries to scam a cat with a rubber mouse burger. A mouse burger? God, that sounds gross. And if he doesn't give the cat a real mouse burger, he'll kill Daffy. Cue Speedy coming in. Really, I'm sick and tired of seeing Speedy. Yes, before you say it, I do like Speedy Gonzalez, but these shorts are so formulaic, with very weak slapstick, and most of the time feeling like they're padding out for the sake of meeting the runtime. The only thing I can say about the short is Daffy decides to kill himself, but that's it! Diddy, that's all, folks! But not for me. 9 left. 9 left. So basically, Daffy wants to get a lifetime membership at a hunting club and gotta get Speedy. Alright, the quality of the short is weird. It's like a grainy VHS look, like you find a needle mouse or something. It's weird. You know, it's bad when, like, the only thing you could talk about is the film quality of the short. But anyways, the actual short itself is... there are some interesting things, like the mouse decoy-loving Daffy wrapping himself into a burrito in this goofy-ass bongo run. Maybe the short actually has some pretty neat ideas and concepts, because it was not directed by Atkinson, but instead, Rudy Lavria? And wait, it wasn't even produced by the Padding or Freeling? This is trippy, man. They'll be going higher compared to the other Padding Freeling shorts, so be happy with that. This short is weird, man. So Daffy decides to get away from the insane life of Hollywood to relax. However, Speedy and his gang know Daffy as a movie star and want to get a role, so they sing to him. However, of course, Daffy doesn't want it. But why the fuck would Daffy need relaxation from the insanity of Hollywood? He shakes like a leaf because he's so paranoid. Like, why? Do you not remember your name? Your name is also similar to words like crazy, nutty, loony, goony. Oh my god. Also, one half of the short is Speedy trying to calm Daffy down but failing, while the other half is like a traditional Daffy and Speedy short. Like it's going for plot whiplash or something. Yeah, funny fact, the person who directed and produced the last short came back, even though a new guy is here. Maybe this would be the new norm. Who knew? What else can I say? Daffy is horribly characterized. I mean, it would make more sense if Daffy was the one causing all the noise while a character tried to relax and have peace and eventually snaps. Oh, wait. Looney Tunes cartoons did that, and it was really funny. God, would I give the review that show now instead of these shorts?
Oh, stop making me scared! For the benefit of those of you who might have missed that last scene, I now show it again on instant replay.
Why? Why, oh God, fucking why?
So this one has where Speedy got to get some secret formula to the cheese factory to make nice stronger, and Daffy has to stop him with spy gear. Also, wait, Rudy is back? Does that mean McKinson is gone? Holy shit. I never thought I'd miss him. Actually, I don't. One thing I find very weird is that, why is Daffy's role not Sylvester? I mean, bro gets hired by a cat. This would have been so easy. I mean, yeah, wouldn't really feel in character for Sylvester, but wouldn't feel out of character too. There are, I will admit, a few funny jokes, like Daffy driving this fucked up car. I don't know why, that's just funny. One thing that is weird, though, is for some reason, Speedy does eat the cheese that makes him stronger, yet he never uses it on Daffy. Like, Not once, which is kind of weird. I thought they'd be building up to something, but nope. Just like how we're building up the disappointment. Also, the ending is stupid. Daffy builds a missile somehow and uses it to track Speedy, but Speedy very effortlessly switches it to go after Daffy. This is fucking stupid. Bro, why design something that can easily be used against you? I know you're Daffy, but you're not stupid. Also, this joke is reused from Operation Rabbit! It's literally the exact same joke! Anyways, I guess that Daffy and Stupid's the same thing, but it's dumb as hell. Also, they reused this explosion shot like a ton. Am I the only one who sees that? Probably, because I'm one of the only sick fucks who watch these shorts.
This match will get red hot. You're up!
Senor Duck, I am too fast for your bullets. You better think of something else. Perhaps you're right. Now, let's see.
So this is okay, I guess? You could tell they're trying to make something. It's not offensively bad, so that's cool. Daffy's not racist. So basically, Speedy and some other rando have this map for gold, and Daffy wants it. However, of course, violence. There are some pretty bad moments, like Daffy somehow keeping a hold of the grenade when he released the pen. How do you do that? And when he blows up in this short, he doesn't actually have his feathers gone. In fact, he looks completely fine. Like, what? You got blown up, my guy! It's nearly a flesh wound. Also, the ending is kind of stupid. It reveals that the gold was actually cheese, and in the abandoned mine, there was cheese. Yeah, checks out. Totally makes sense. Yep, ready to do. Also, the fact that this is the last time Daffy does that laugh, be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Guys, Tom and Jerry's on in 30 minutes! Rather watch those shorts than these ones. This short makes no goddamn sense. So basically, Daffy gets kidnapped after being Speedy's stand-in for acting. And if you remember, this is basically the same plot as A Star is Born, except here it makes no sense. At least with A Star is Born, Daffy was like Bugs' stand-in for selfish reasons, and also, you know, dressed up like Bugs and had the same height as him. Daffy and Speedy look nothing alike. Daffy doesn't even wear the same clothes as him. This would be a shit movie if I saw the stand-in be a completely different person. Like, they didn't even try. Were the people blind while making this? And you have the character designs. The humans look like Pink Panther or Flintstone characters, while the female duck looks like a Disney one. Holy bamboozle, this short is going pretty far down. Not the bottom, but it does suck. Away, short! Stop existing! So basically, Speedy tricks Daffy into thinking he needs to fly south for the winter, which honestly is kind of cute seeing that character trait come back. However, this short is not good. Of fucking course, why wouldn't it be? So I have no idea who to root for here. Daffy is made out to be the bad guy, but I can't root for Speedy. Bro only goes on this vacation for his benefit, and even steals Daffy's food. Bro is trying to get some peace, but he keeps ruining it. A security system takes control of Daffy's house. I know that joke doesn't work, but ah! Fuck this short! Alright, so Slowpoke here is setting up a party, and Daffy tries to put a stop to it with a rain cloud. He somehow makes his own rain cloud. Okay, I know Looney Tunes shorts aren't grounded in reality, but how do you do that? At least have it be from, like, the Acme company, instead of Daffy somehow creating one on his own. I mean, you already reused a background shot from a Wile E. short. Why not just do that? Also, the entire short is about Daffy trying to get this stupid fucking cloud over the party and failing in the most boring way possible. This feels like something from a Disney short. It's that bland. And apparently after all that, the party was actually for Daffy's birthday, because somehow Daffy forgot his own birthday? This is actually so stupid. How do you not remember your date of birth? I'm gonna turn into dogs eating dogs soon with how pissed I'm getting. Oh wait, let's just there we go. The animation is poor, the jokes are bland, and the story makes no sense. I wanna fuck Rosalie. Well, hey, look on the bright side. We only have 2 shorts left. I never felt so happy.
Stop raining on me.
Second to last! Second to last! Before I can go into this one, can I say the intro changed? Because it did. Now instead of calling itself the Padding Freeling, it's instead Warner Brothers 7 Arts? Okay. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a reference to the 7 Deadly Sins, because these shorts were made in hell. I don't know. So Daffy starts sleepwalking, and Speedy helps him. Why make it Speedy? You guys have Porky. You remember Corn on the Cob? Why not use him? It would make perfect sense, but no, I guess? Alright, so Daffy starts to sleepwalk on a construction site, and Speedy tries to help him. Eventually, Daffy wakes up. Okay, I thought the whole show was gonna be Daffy going on that construction site and skyscrapers, and Speedy had to help him like in the Mickey Mouse short clock cleaners, but no! Daffy hangs himself, and he falls and tries to kill himself. That's it. It also takes ages for the whole site thing to actually begin. Most of it's digging around in Daffy's house. Like, why do I care? Set it up briefly, but not too quick, and then hit us with the jokes. That's the whole point of Daffy Duck and the Looney Tunes. God, this short is so mid and bad. However, is it going to be as bad or worse as the last short? Deemed the worst Warner Brothers short of all time? Well, for now, it's not the bottom because of how boring and shit it is, but there's only one way to find out. Here we go, folks. The last short. See ya later, Gladiator. Deems as the worst Warner Brothers short. And let me tell ya, it's honestly not that bad. I feel like the short is semi-overrated. Yeah, I'm serious. I kind of regret making a big huss and fuss about it because, like, I do think it's not good, but I don't think it's awful. Like, bro, I sat through Quackshot, the Iceman Duck, if the other 60 shorts. I might as well get the things I like out of the way. Bro, Daffy actually outsmarts something! Holy shit! That hasn't happened in forever! He's being cool! Finally! Yeah! There is one interesting thing about this short, though. Apparently, originally, this cartoon was actually based on a pitch from Alex Louvy, who created such riveting characters for the Looney Tunes like Cool Cat. Oh, fuck. But apparently, originally, it was a pitched idea for a series of cartoons called Time Flies, where it was about these two explorer characters named Happenstance, where they would use a time-traveling machine to go to the past and future. I don't really know what they would have done, because apparently that's all we really know about the pitch, but one of the first time periods they mentioned in the pitch was ancient Rome, so presumably, this, like, you know, pitch was reworked into this cartoon, which honestly is actually really interesting. More interesting than the short, that's for true. That's really about it, actually. Yeah, the short is basic as ever. Granted, I like the idea of time travel being used, but only going in the Gladiator era? Really, that's all they can do? Also, why not just have the short set there? That way we can get to the action sooner, and also the animation. In fact, not just this short, but every single The Patty Freeling short. Yeah, I saved this for the last one, because every The Patty Freeling short has god-awful animation. Gone are the days of smooth as butter, perfectly crafted, and just all-around eye candy to look at. Here is jaggery, stiff, and robotic. Granted, it's like Flintstones cheap, but yeah, you can tell it's not good. And the same applies with this short. It doesn't make me mad like most people. It just leaves with nothing. It's so sad that the character who was perfectly crafted, okay, well, not really, but he was funny, and always put a smile on my face on how crazy and over top he can be. But after a while, all the things that made him a fun character were stripped and stripped and stripped, until there was nothing left. Not even a husk of his former self. He's a completely different person. He's not my Daffy. And instead of going out with a bang, he went out on a small, lispful whimper. I mean, if we want to look at post-Golden Era, we could have ended with Daffy Duck's Rhapsody, but shut up. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're done! We're finally done! I can't believe it! We went through many highs, lows, extreme lows, but also extreme highs. So I might as well finally do the final ranking, because I bet a lot of you, including me and God, just want me to shut up. So without further ado, get to the numbers! Skyscraper Caper, Feathered Finger, Fiesta Fiesco, Suppressed Duck, the Astro Duck, Moby Duck, Go Away Stowaway, the Iceman Ducketh, Road to Stardom, the Music Maestro, Mexican Mousepiece, Swing Ding Amigo, Tease for Two, China Jones, Corn on the Cob, Daffy's Diner, This Is a Life, Quackshot, It's Nice to Have a Mouse Around the House, See Ya Later Gladiator, Well-Worn Daffy, Chili Corn Corny, A Taste of Catnip, A Squeak in the Deep, Full Coverage, Go Go Amigo, Stupor Duck, The Upstanding Sitter, No Excuse, Daffy Rents, Conrad the Sailor, Rocket Squad, Muchos Locos, Speedy Ghost Town, the Spy Swatter, Quacker Tracker, Assault and Pepper, Fast Buck Duck, Dimer Tire, Crocodile Tears, Good News, A Haunting We Will Go, Fun, His Bitter Half, A Koi Decoy, People Are Bunny, Ain't That Ducky, Holiday for Drumsticks, Boston Quacky, Daffy Duck in Hollywood, The Henpecked Duck, Muscle Tussles, Duck Soup to Nuts, To Duck or Not to Duck, What Price Porky, The Daffy Duck, Tonturk and Daffy, Person the Bunny, Daffy Duck and the Dinosaur, Yankee Doodle Daffy, Daffy Duck Slep Hair, Crack Quack, The Abominable Snow Rabbit, Don't Ax Me, Birth of a Notion, The Prize Pass, Wisecrackers, The Million Hair, Beanstalk Bunny, Stork Naked, Aqua Duck, Duck Rabbit Duck, Porky's Duck Hunt, Daffy Duck and Egghead, Book Review, The High and the Flighty, My Little Duckaroo, Rabbit Seasoning, Robin Hood Daffy, Deduce, you say, The Daffy Duckaroo, Golden Yeggs, Ducking the Devil, Hollywood Daffy, You Ought to Be in Pictures, The Impatient Patient, Daffy Stuff in Her Exposure, Wisecracks, A Corny Concierto, Scrap Happy Daffy, Alibaba Bunny, Daffy's in Trouble, Slightly Daffy, Scout Trouble, You Are Never Duckier, The Stupid Cupid, Designed for Leaving, Rabbit Fire, A Star is Born, Showbiz Bugs, What Makes Daffy Duck, Daffy Doodles, Porky Last Stand, The Super Snooper, Daffy Duck Hunt, Draffy Daffy, Porky and Daffy, Along Came Daffy, Tick-Tock Tucker, Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, Boobs in the Woods, My Favorite Duck, Mexican Joyride Ride, The Wisecracking Duck, Riff Raffy Daffy, Daffy the Commando, Baby Bottleneck, The Stupor Salesman, Porky Pig's Feet, Drip Along Daffy, The Scarlet Pumpernickel, Daffy Dilly, Plain Daffy, A Pest in the House, Nasty Quack, The Great Piggy Big Robbery, Duck Amuck, and finally, The Ducksters. I'm assuming a lot of people want to know after this, Isaac, why is Daffy your favorite character of all time? Most of the video you've been bitching and whining about him in his shorts, and yeah, I can agree with that statement. However, even though Daffy is some of the lowest of the low for a Looney Tunes character, he had some of the highest of the high. Shorts that I'll always remember more than the slop. Shorts that are violent, well-timed, great animation, and are overall funny. He makes me laugh. That's why I love him. And I'll love him still, even in newer things like the Looney Tunes show and Looney Tunes cartoons. So no matter the hardships, no matter the character rewrites, he will always be my favorite duck.
You're welcome.